All right, ladies and gents, welcome to semifinal number 2 in Battle of Africa 3. Very excited for this. As always, we are going to catch up to live time, and we've got some laming. We have GamerLegion, one of the tournament favorites, looking in great shape up against Los Machos. Los Machos has two Brazilian beasts in Dogal and Miguel, and then they've actually brought a GamerLegion player in for this event because Slam couldn't make the cut, I guess, for GamerLegion's main team, and so that's a bit awkward for him. Everybody knows each other. These guys have faced each other in tourneys for half a decade. Many of you were not following back then, but believe me, Brazil, or, you know, there's so many different names that they had over the years, Heresy, KGB, yada, yada, yada. They've been there, done that. We have Tato in the red playing as the Japanese to start it off. In the yellow, we've got Doubt playing Pocket. Doubt is playing as the Huns, and then we have the Viper playing as the Portuguese on the flank. And he's up against Dogal's Incas. In the pocket, we have Miguel, who I think has been their best player by far. I mean, he really looked good in their quarterfinal 4-3 victory against the Amigos. And then, last but not least, we have Slam playing as a Dravidian. So, map here is very aggressive. Someone said, this doesn't look like it'd be fun to play. Yeah, I don't think it is, because the best way to get food is probably having the villagers on the shorefish. The shorefish are everywhere, and the players out there will know it. The expectation for a lot of this set is going to be archers on the flanks and then scouts and knights from the pocket. There are some maps that won't see that in the semifinal, but if you've been following Battle of Africa, that has been the meta. That has been our 3v3 action. So when I look at this, right now, I feel like Viper's going to be the most consistent performer. You're going to have Tato probably doing the same. Let's see how Doubt performs from the pocket position to start this all off, because GamerLegion do have a fourth player in Jordan. And what the best teams have is they always have another player on the bench that can hop in. AM didn't need that in their first semifinal as they made quick work of Suomi, but again, they have that. And Viper is, I mean, I guess you could say the same about a lot of GamerLegion, but Viper would so easily take the yellow color, take the middle position, and then if Doubt's not having his day, maybe swap in Jordan on the flank. So on the flank sides, the main thing that deviates is... Also, can I change this color? I was just checking. No, I can't. Sorry for anyone who has colorblindness up here, but are you adding militia or are you not adding militia before the archers is the main difference? And then the central position is mainly just scouts. What I like about Kimura is you can hop in and out of houses, so that's a nice bonus to have. But I would personally prefer the Huns. I think that the faster production speed of the Hun stables is nice, and not having to build houses is good wood savings when it gets messy. But a weakness that a lot of players seem to think Huns have, and I can agree, is you can't make houses to house wall in crazy situations to defend yourself, so you're playing very open. I would hope for Doubt that he's going to be able to be aggressive the entire time, because otherwise that could catch up with him. Does Viper remember how AoE2 works still after all the time playing AoE4? Well, there was a couple weeks where it looked a little wonky, but honestly, you know, it's just like riding a bike. You know, we had a lot of players leave AoE2, go to other games. It was a weird year, right? And Viper, the credit to Viper, he always said, like, listen, there's just some good opportunities with AoE4. I want to show what I'm capable of. He never said he didn't like AoE2 or the scene was bad, you know, like maybe some others had said. And, you know, he came back. The first couple weeks, I was like, well, actually, the first week in particular, I was like, well, okay, this guy's getting housed a lot. This and that is going a little wrong. But honestly, he's looked fantastic, man. He's been incredibly consistent. And he was GamerLegion's best player in the quarterfinals, I'd say. So here he is, Viper playing as the Portuguese, a civ he loves. And notice the scouting for GamerLegion. Benefit of having Portuguese is the free cartography. Slam obviously knows GamerLegion well. Slam also going for militia on this side. So we're going to have militia, V militia on the left side. We are going to have zero militia. No, excuse me, I missed it. We have the militia for Dogal on the right side. This is kind of rare. Both teams going for man-at-arms. And very similar up times as well. Though something Miguel did, which I'm a big fan of, was he actually delayed Loom because players start with a camel that can't attack. He figured he didn't need that. Doubt actually did the same thing. Actually, everybody started doing that. So Everybody did that. The camels are mere distractions here. You don't want to attack the camels. And in the end, Slam actually out-micros Tato pretty heavily here. Probably not heavy enough to be able to go for the man-at-arm upgrade. But then again, it is really cheap. And yes, Slam also didn't get Loom, so... Isu Harambe says, come back to Twitch. Frowning face. Hey, listen, I'm sorry that I've made you frown. But I'm happy you're here, all right? And I'm now going to keep an eye on Tato, because Tato certainly has fallen behind on this side. On the other side, I'll look for the militia for Dogal. And Dogal's being tracked by Viper, so it's a lot of reacting right now for GamerLegion, who I will say are notorious for their slower starts. All their players are kind of known for that in 1v1s as well. They get stronger as the series goes on, and like all underdogs, I'll say that I think that Los Machos need to take every single advantage they can. If there's a window that opens, because there's not going to be many of them in this series, they need to take it, and they need to get the win in that game. Nice little trade-off here, and Dogal also gets the better fight against Viper. 6 start here. But again, it's like, how effective is this going to be? I guess the militia and the man-at-arms could meet up. But now this mainly comes down to the archers. So Viper, or excuse me, I see yellow, I think Viper. Doubt on 4 scouts. And here are his scouts right now. And then here's Miguel. And it seems like Miguel is just waiting right now. He hasn't heard anything about the scouts from Doubt. He's wondering where Doubt is. He also sees Doubt's camel, so that will tell him that Doubt's scouting and might be over here. But I like this from Doubt. Doubt saw that the scouts were here, and he might actually... He's probably dealing with something right now because he hesitated. Oh, and Miguel's already here! Miguel's already here, and look at Dogal. Dogal using the man-at-arm against the spearman. Very effective. And Doubt's scouts have found no damage, guys, because he's so distracted right now. You know, still having the infantry against the spearman is going to be really helpful, and it puts Miguel in a position where he can dominate. That said, Miguel gets hit here. We'll see if he reacts. He is Khmer, right? So any other civilization, he's going to lose 3 or 4 villagers here. There he loses 1, and whoop! Into the houses he goes. That said, good moment for Doubt, because at the end of the day, these villagers stopped working. And Miguel now has to chase. Kind of similar to how Doubt is chasing over here, right? Viper right now does also have 1 fewer archer when compared to Dogal, but we'll see if he ends up moving out. And yeah, Viper on the move. GamerLegion are so good at this. They will move out with low numbers and then force you to chase them, and then their next wave is not going to be tracked. Watch for Viper to move forward here. And here's Slam. Slam getting attacked. And Slam loses his army there to Doubt. And yeah, maybe Slam needed a spearman there. Slam won't be happy with that. But what he will be happy with is 2 ranges. He'll be happy that Miguel is tracking this for him. Again, meanwhile, we've got this army. Viper will probably use the camel to distract a little bit. Okay, here comes Miguel to track Viper. But look at Doubt. So now Doubt takes the middle control, right? Because there's a lot of chasing going on. Ooh, Miguel didn't know about this. Because he was probably taking this fight or focusing on something else. GamerLegion take control, and now you have Viper. Like I said, moving out with small numbers. They have so much control over the game right now. Slam's really going to need to micro. And Tato's probably the best at that, by the way. Viper's more of the player to just macro his way to the next stage. Viper with overextension there as he loses his forces. Doubt tries to get damage in and is getting pushed away. But yeah, Tato's the king of sneaking those armies. You might not see it as much on this map. Now, I would say the key, guys, is to keep villagers on the shorefish. And I'm looking at Miguel. Miguel's got, I don't know, maybe 8 on shorefish. And Doubt's got 15 to 20 right now. And that has been a deciding factor on these games. I've mentioned it so many times. You really have to just go reckless and go for the shorefish, I think. But maybe being Khmer and having that farming bonus is something that makes Miguel feel like he should do it. Obviously, it is safer. Miguel hasn't really been able to meet up with Slam or meet up with Dogal. Like Viper has been, Doubt, excuse me, has been able to meet up with his flanks. Dogal gets out of here. Ultimately, is ahead of the Viper right now. And the military count is very close, as is the eco count. This is going to be a great game. Tato's been tracked by Slam, no problem. Slam also a player who tends to shoot for the next stage and stay at home. He doesn't do a lot of sneaking. Oh, and an amazing fight for Los Machos here. Also, pretty soon it will be full upgrades for both scout players. But Dowd has the weaker scouts here, and Dogao has a lot of army. Good shot there on Viper. Another good shot on Viper, and Slam's on the way up on the other side. Tato has not clicked up yet, and right now, Los Machos, to me, it seems like they've got a slight lead. There's tiny little armies, tiny little differences. The micro, obviously, that could make a big difference. But I love when teams play this close. And how similar this has been so far is really a treat to watch. Dowd is underproducing. He's Huns. He should have more. Yeah, I think he should have more. But it feels like he could possibly get there. Miguel's just done a better job, right? Faster to feudal age, so he got that first scout out a little bit faster. The worry now, I'd say, for Dogao and for Miguel is if they overextend. Viper's coming in from this side. Dowd has the close production, so it should not be possible for them to push in here. And you can see the difference now. This is the home field advantage, but also at the same time, Miguel is producing at home. In theory, right? You would think so. Yeah, he is doing so. And now we could have the same thing as Slam has to chase here. But this is so good for Tato that Slam is chasing him because... And great micro from Slam. Wow, these guys are incredible. Holy crap. How has an archer not died yet? Jeez. But yeah, if Tato runs, it could be pretty good for him because Slam's going to have his upgrades, but Slam won't be able to use the upgrades. Speaking of chasing and speaking of running, Dogal's running away. Viper and Dowd are chasing. We will have Tato in the Castle Age soon. On the right side, you can see the up times for Los Machos. Very close game here, guys. 175 population versus 170 right now. And Viper is going to be up a full 90 seconds faster than Dogao, but it's the same problem that Slam's having. He has had to chase. Now he doesn't have to. Now he can run forward. It's Tato's army that is really going to have Los Machos paranoid. That's the difference, right? Dogao's army died. Tato's army alive. Viper can push forward. Slam cannot. Slam has to chase. Also, in terms of scout numbers, Slam does have, or Dowd does have a lot less. And okay, this is the moment. Not a bad fight for Tato, though, because he is actually getting kills. I like how Slam has 3 separate groups moving, and he'll move one group as the others are firing. It'll lead to it being more difficult for Tato to micro, right? Because they're all firing at different times. Tato can't really dodge consistently. I'd like to see a house and a palisade here from Miguel just to stop armies from sneaking back there. Dogal's army number at 19. Viper at 25. Again, Viper's already here. Well, Viper's being attacked by a lion, which is unimportant. He'll probably drop a TC back there. Sorry for looking there. Where are the scouts for Miguel? Scouts for Miguel. Sorry, capture rate doesn't always take me right to where they are. He's got a few over here. And, ooh, Dowd was over here as well. I will keep you updated on that if I can find them. There's a lot of different things on the mini-map right now. Okay, here's some of those scouts. Viper, aware that he's exposed, though, will kill these scouts. Miguel clearly distracted. And I think he's just moved here. If you ever see a player has a problem reacting to something, it's probably because they're doing something else at the exact same time. He also was getting hit by Dowd there as well. And so now GamerLegion are pulling ahead, right? Slam wasn't able to use his advantage, but here's Viper. And man, is Dowd going to thrive in this type of situation because Dowd hasn't had to deal with any pressure in a long time. And now, since there's a pause, I actually have the chance to check this stat. Dowd with more food income. Now, it's not crazy, to be honest, but he has more food, he has more gold, he has collected more resources in general. And it looks like... So, guys, I'll address this a little bit later, but last week we had an issue where there was a pause and an unpause, and the game froze. And I had reported 2 years ago my theories on it. And I kind of went in on them a little bit last week, saying, I think this is it, I think this is it. They said we can't reproduce it. They tested my theory. And ladies and gentlemen, I think they figured out how to fix the problem. I think the next patch, it might not have that issue anymore. Now, I don't know if the next patch, if there's going to be some type of change to Khmer villagers dying to crossbows. Miguel is probably hoping for that right now because his villagers are getting wrecked. This is not looking good for Los Machos anymore. Viper, sure, he'll lose an army here, but think of the damage he's done. Look at the amount of villagers that are just not working right now for Los Machos. And then look at the army count. The theory was that if there's a pause and then an unpause within a couple seconds span, but someone who wasn't the original pauser is the one who unpauses it, that is what can lead to that bug. And I just assumed that theory was wrong because I had reported it before, and then it happened last week, and I got a little nasty. And when I say nasty, I just bring it up, and I use bold or something occasionally. But yeah, they said they seem to have been able to reproduce the issue. I don't know if I can share that with you, but I just did, so hopefully I don't get in trouble. That's good news. So bad. So bad for Los Machos. Everything just falls apart so quickly on this map. I mean, at least Dogal is doing well over here. And Slam does have a large force, so he needs to get some value against Tato. But look at Tato's choice. Very Tato move, lots of towers. I like it. And look at this crossbow army, man. He's always so sneaky with armies. Slam's still looking for that. Can you imagine if it went over there and denied that TC? Doubt has had massive lead over Miguel now. Miguel at 26 villagers. I hope that the pause didn't really ruin the sync for Los Machos. Sometimes pausing can lead to some confusion, but ultimately it did seem like the direction it was going. It was all GamerLegion here, game one. Miguel is 24 villagers. He's out of the game, so he's got to be telling his teammates, kill now, add a 4th and a 5th range. Dogal does have 45 crossbows, which is ridiculous. But the crossbows need to go find some damage here. 20 knights for Doubt, 7 for Miguel. There's no recovering from this if you're Miguel, so you just make knights when you can afford it and hope for the best. But it was that one moment in Feudal, remember, it was a little back and forth, and then Viper went forward, and then Tata went forward. And ever since, they've had control. On paper, it can be quite bad to move out with your armies, because then if you don't have the numbers of the person you're moving towards, you could lose your army and lose the game. But they're just able to find the right spots, and it's just enough where the opponent always has to chase. GamerLegion are probably the best at that. It's one of my favorite things about watching them play team games. And again, they've got the players to do it, right? Viper could play pocket if he wants to. But here, Viper has played extraordinarily well on flank. Viper, 62 villagers. Where's the person who said they wonder if Viper knows how to play after playing AoE4? This is what I meant. This guy is insane again. 64 vills, which is by far the highest. 40 army, which is by far the highest. Actually, that's wrong. Dogal actually has more. I'm wrong. Forgive me. But still, pretty impressive that he's able to do the eco side and the production side at the same time. Now, what you could probably do here, if you're GamerLegion, is, and you normally wouldn't be able to do this, is you can go for Siege. Because there's not many knights for Miguel. And if there's not knights for Miguel, in fact, Miguel's about to be defeated over here, you could then go Siege and have it make sense. Whereas it would not make sense for Los Machos to do that because Doubt has so many knights and the Siege can just be picked off. But yeah, GamerLegion just needed to hold here, guys. And they're going to take the first game here. Overall, I didn't think this was a bad game for Los Machos. But as I stated a couple minutes ago, they lost control over the game and they started to do a whole lot of chasing. And sometimes what you have to do, if you're wondering how you deal with that, sometimes what you have to do is if Tato runs this way to go do damage, instead of tracking it if you're Slam, I think you just say, hey, Miguel, good luck, tower up. I can't let him have this control. And then you just run to Tato's base. Now, some of these towers might have been up at that time. I kind of feel like they came up later, but we never looked at Tato's base. So, you know, it's a tricky thing. It's the way they play it. You have to let them run into your base, and you have to run to their base. Because if you do not, you're never doing any damage to them, and they're always going to find the spots. All right, game one, dominant display from GamerLegion. But overall, I think Los Machos actually looked really good. I think Los Machos will just go to their home map now, and I think they'll be feeling good about their shape at least. All right, Viper had a great game, game one. Here we are, game number two. He's playing as the Mayans. And they're keeping the same squad here, it looks like. And I can't disagree with that based on how they played the first game. We will probably see some laming, though. Because Mongols is out there. Slam hasn't gone forward to lame. We do have the scout here for Dogao trying to lame. Okay, sorry, I wanted to get the introductions in. You can look on the minimap. Dowd is playing as the Slavs pocket. And then you've got Tato here playing as the Koreans. Now, again, if you pick Mongols on this map, you pick it for two reasons. First, the player who is Mongols has the hunt bonus. This is not a long-term map, just like the previous game. It's not a long-term map at all. Normally what happens here is it's all about finishing the game quickly, snowballing those archers, snowballing those scouts. So Slam has the hunt, and that's good for him. But there's also a scouting bonus. And so his team gets to see a lot, which is why I expected Dogao to lame. But he chose not to because Tato's scout was there with him. And Tato's heading right back here to this wood line. We have Malians for Dogao, a civ that's picked here probably because of their flexibility. All of their wood buildings are cheaper, right? That's a fantastic option for them. And apart from that, you've got the pocket, who's just probably the best pocket. Again, they need to perform here with this civ. Magyars, cheaper scouts, extra attack. And then on the very right side, you've got Slam again, who's Mongols. So again, I expect archers, I expect scouts, yada yada. Dowd's a fantastic player with Slavs, though. And if it gets to the mid-game, or even late feudal age, Slavs really start to feel as good, if not better, than Magyars. Just simply due to how much food they bring in. Here's what we really need to discuss. Why is Viper playing purple while Dowd is yellow? Because of the way the game works. I have a dream that in 2024, finally, and I know that's ambitious because that's a year and a half away, but I've been very outspoken about how I think team position should not be tied to player color. I think it'd be a lot more interesting from a casting perspective, but also a player perspective. Because guess what, guys? It's a strategy game. And you would actually need to scout to know where someone was positioned. But now you just look at their color, and you even know in the freaking lobby, guys. They see the colors in the lobby, so they know half the things that they need to figure out in a normal game just because of their color. So I continued to have that discussion with them behind the scenes. I'm not sure how much of what I say is in one ear, out the other. Probably 90% of it. T90, get it? But yeah, we'll see. Vipers performed quite well without yellow, though, so it's certainly not the source of all of his powers. And whoa. Sorry, Capture Age just blinked there. My bad. Not sure why that happened. So, Viper has not clicked up quite yet. And then you have Slam pretty much on the way. Now, it is much easier for the Mongols, but something to point out here. Then we have Dogao on the way up as well. Now, I actually had the pleasure of playing with Los Machos in the last team game tournament. It was also a 3v3 tournament. And I told... It's one of my... I love some of these stories, man, because it's just so interesting. And I love the players, too. So many different players, different personalities. I remember telling the boys, right? I was like, listen, you have to go for this 17, 18 pop up on this map. If you're going 20 or 21 pop with walls, someone dies to archer numbers. And I remember the response from Dogao. He was like, isn't that really bad? Because you need 2 lumber camps, and how can you afford eco upgrades? I was like, screw eco upgrades. Trust me. They did not trust me until we got smashed by the Baguettes, Incito, Margugu, and Anatov, and now ever since they've been doing it. So I'll be paying attention to if they get eco upgrades. Because I know Dogao, like, he will admit this. He is very much, he's that old mindset, but we'll see if any wood upgrades come in. Like, Slam didn't, for example. And that's normally a must on this type of map. Normally, you're getting eco upgrades. At the very least, your wood upgrade. But I think the best way to play it is skip your wood upgrade, just so you can get as much out as possible, and rush fletching. The exception will be the pocket here. So you have Slavs. Slavs are likely going to go wood farm upgrade, and then we're going to have Magyars most likely do the same. And look at Miguel all over Doubt right there. Doubt just runs away. No problem. Okay. So the other thing to pay attention to is it double range or is it one range, one blacksmith? My opinion is also it has to be double range. One range, one blacksmith. I think a player who likes that is someone like Leary because he can micro so good he doesn't need the numbers. But the thing is if you don't have the numbers and the player you're up against on your side scouts that, they will simply just send those numbers immediately towards the pocket, and then the pocket gets snowballed. This is as snowbally as it gets. This and actually the previous map. So it's been a very aggressive semifinal so far. But there are some more campy maps prepared. And Viper actually did go for the walls. Mayans having cheap walls is nice. Notice how many players are not even milling their berries. Pocket players will, other players will not. We have the yellow and the green advancing to the right side. So this would be a 1v1 between Dogao and Tato, which I actually think is really good for Los Machos. I think if it was a 1v1 between Slam and Viper, I think that would be less preferred. Not that Slam is bad, of course, but it is Slam versus Viper, right? Also, Slam's really been looking good. But will we see a move out from him? And yes, we do. Now, Doubt's going to maybe find an Archer here. Oh, so good from him. So he gets that Archer pick for free. You could also say a little sloppy from Slam. Now, you notice that was also 10 seconds after I said Slam has been so good. So I have a knack for cursing players out here, but I hope Slam doesn't take offense to that. We have fletching on the way for Tato. Again, Koreans, if you don't know this, get the armor upgrade for free. So a bit tankier. And Dogao, just double range. Normally, you're not seeing triple, but Malian wood buildings are cheaper, which is, again, big reason you pick them here. So you could possibly consider it. I think that's bad, though. I think these teams are good enough where this still does become some type of a race to Castle Age for the flanks at some stage. All right. Tato chasing with confidence. Dogao, falling away. Oh, man, I love this. I'm going to switch to the player point of views from time to time. Slam and Miguel moving forward towards Doubt. Remember, Doubt doesn't have the attack upgrade for free like Miguel does. And look at the micro there. Slam takes out the Spearman. Doubt now needs to leave the berries. Now, he does have 11 farms, but if for a moment his scout production slows down because of this, even without getting any crucial kills on villagers, it's worth it. But right now, he's producing out of the TC. He's also producing out of the stable. But also getting a blacksmith right now. What about Miguel? Does he have his yet? He has it. He might consider an upgrade here. Also, there's just some goats chilling in the wood line. Meanwhile, we have the 1v1 fight on this side. Looks like Tato took some losses. And it's Los Machos who have the tiny, slightest of leads right now. And it's Los Machos who have a smaller army. And they are forcing GamerLegion to chase. I love the patience. And look what it does for you. Miguel gets in. He just sniped the villain. Get out. Well played. Very well played from them. Tato having 2 skirms does make this more awkward for Dogao. Again, the armor's in, so these things will be the tanks in front. And Miguel will hear this from Dogao, and Miguel has to decide on if he'll actually send scouts to support. Because scout would be the unit you would want. Oh, getting some hits in on Slam. They so badly want to put an end to this. Oh my goodness, and Slam just... I can't agree with that decision. I think you have to run with your teammate there. But then again... Oh! This is why! Now, I don't know how many villagers Viper lost. It probably wasn't that many because he's only at 30, but he did lose archers there too. Meanwhile, Tato has also lost a villager here, and Tato might have also lost a little bit of army to Dogao. So, wow, crazy game. 94 eco to 94, 25 versus 27. Close stuff. Los Machos with the lead, but there's a lot of scouts for Doubt out, and he could choose a target next. Slam also getting some walls down. His eco is looking pretty good, actually. And he's falling back now, because I think there's a concern now. They don't know where Viper's archer army is. At the moment, they don't see it, right? So this is a fight that I think Miguel and Dogao are going to love. All this pressure is now stemming over to Tato. Slam should play safe from here in most cases, I think. Should play safe. He should not feel the need to move out. But then again, like we said, don't you want to take initiative? Should you be moving out right now to hit the Viper? And there he is, confidently against the Viper, his teammate, but not in this event. He knows how skilled he is. And Miguel and Dogao are playing fantastic. Tato's army count is still pretty similar. But guys, this is where the Slavs start to kick it up a little bit because of those farms. So keep an eye on that. Lots of farms for Doubt, fastest farmers in the game. And Tato's army count is still going to keep things competitive on this side. Meanwhile, Viper's army count. I mean, he is Mayans, right? Probably one of the best archer civilizations. And those archers are heading over this way. There is an attempted wall here. And they're almost getting the team wall down between the Los Machos team. But Viper is going to put an end to that for now. Meanwhile, Dogao is here. And it kind of looks like Tato was looking for that army because he wasn't fully walled on his side yet. The Doubt progressing over this way. I just pointed with my left hand as if you guys can see me. I don't know. I do weird things sometimes. I have a pointer, but I pointed with my left hand. Like, hey, right there on the screen. And wow, okay, we have an uptime for Doubt. Potentially a way for them to get out of this pickle they're in, but also a way that they could possibly lose the game. This is the risk. They'll see that Miguel has all these scouts, and they will know that Miguel is all in from here. Or at least, you know, has more scouts and could do damage. And Viper's been told this is going to be a problem for you. House wall behind your palisades. Viper Tower's now on the front, so could Viper keep his army alive, though? Oh, God! It feels like the tower needs to focus the archers, and Viper just should run to the TC. It looks bad, but honestly, I don't think this is that bad for Viper. Because at the end of the day, he doesn't lose vills, and he doesn't lose army, which is all that matters. And this is still a lot of time for Doubt to wait for knights. The risk in playing how Doubt has played this is simply that someone usually dies. Because you have more scouts and all this army, and it could kill you, right? But no one's dying right now. They're okay. Doubt also, when he gets the knights, could possibly push back an army from Slam or Dogao. But there is something so cool about the house walls. What do you guys think about that? I think that's freaking awesome. Dogao, Miguel, all the Brazilian pros have actually been known for years about loving house walls. Fire does it a lot as well. Riot isn't really playing as much these days, but he always did it. In fact, I played a Smurf account a year and a half ago, and I was like, wait a second, Riot? And he's like, how did you know? That's a funny story. He does play on occasion, so, you know, it's not like he's fully retired, but doesn't really play in events. And this is the downside, again, of Doubt not having the army just yet. But it seems as though Miguel told Dogao, go home and hide behind the walls. Slam is kind of doing the same. And this scout army is going to get some extra attack here in a bit. And this scout army is going to disrupt Doubt as much as possible. Yeah, I mean, I can't add up how many houses are here because it would take a long time, but it's impressive. It's just a little bit more resistance for the enemy. I think there's a hole here, though. Okay, scouts. Again, with Magars, you get the attack upgrades. Doubt sending his army over here. It's so important that Dogao has fallen back. Yep, there is a hole, but it seems like it was intentional. And he will have his upgrades in 30 seconds. Miguel with 2 groups of scouts. Doubt is tracking 1. We've not seen the light cav choice yet. Viper's just got an eagle here, by the way. I don't know. Like, Slam is chasing an eagle right now. And here comes Doubt. So Doubt has swung over to this side. And there is not a house wall here, Slam. Slam is the only person that's not Brazilian on this team. I don't know if it's in their blood. But this is what we were talking about, man. That's such an important part of this. Slam will get his upgrades. On the bright side, though, Miguel, he still has some opportunities to do damage. And Miguel is making knights, so I feel like this is something they could hold from. Though the concern would be Viper getting ballistics. Now, Tato's going to have a concern on the other side because Dogao's ahead of him. So, I love Colosseum. Now, there are a lot of other maps that are also Scout Archer, but none really hit quite as well as Colosseum do. And this is a beautiful game. Ballistics will come in much faster for the Malians. Their university works faster, so this could head over to Doubt. This could head over to Tato. And Tato's gone for towers with Koreans, and I don't mind that choice. Oh, big moment. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, this is huge from Doubt. They don't know that Doubt's still in here. Oh, this is a big blow to Miguel, and it's going to hit him on the farms as well. His army's moving out right now. They're trying to chase down Viper. It feels like after that, they need to get damage in. They do have Dogao doing great things against Tato, so that's good, and this could be good, but this is not good. Oh, man. Second straight game that Doubt has been able to get the better of Miguel. And it is also the second straight game that it's because of the flank control. I think this kind of comes back on Slam not having that house wall. If Slam has that house wall, this is never a problem for them. But Los Machos can still do this. They still have an army from Dogao heading over towards Doubt. And Viper's not necessarily having the best time either against Slam. So Miguel is obviously feeling some hurt here, but Doubt's being told, hey, you've got an army coming to you. I can't help you. That's what Tato's saying. I don't have enough right now. And boom, villager dead. Boom, villager dead. More villagers die. And now Miguel's probably feeling better about his position. He will add the second TC on that wood line, eventually get up to his farm number he needs. And now a whole lot of chasing needed from GamerLegion. 66 army versus 100 army. Dogao is outproducing Viper. If you were to compare them, even though they're on opposing flank. Actually, no, let's just do this. Slam is outproducing Viper, despite the fact that Viper has the cheaper crossbows. And Dogao he's got double the numbers of Tato. Miguel looking for revenge. The perfect grouping so the villagers can't make it back to the TC. Quick and easy kills for him there. But uh-oh, Dogao. He is over here right now doing something, but he won't get damage in, and he's the only one that's here. GamerLegion do have the economy lead. Well, that might also disappear as well, though, because Doubt has lost a lot over the last few moments. But now look at the army count. This makes things a little more manageable. Slam also has this exposed gold for Viper. His gold's being town-centered, which I think is an important thing to talk about. Viper is definitely in a position where he can carry. He's the Mayans, which is one of the best civs for this position. Their economy and the cost on their archers is just unmatched. And it's all the early stages, like early feudal, because they struggle to compete with the fast feudal that Mongols could achieve. They have problems, but apart from that, it's all Mayans from here. Mongol bonuses actually just disappear as the game goes on. But Tato has just lost villagers everywhere you look, man. On his berries earlier. He's also lost some army, but he is catching up now. And I think the difference is you've got 3 players working together versus 2. And as Dogao desperately tries to get over here, I think he's going to find that his teammates are just trapped in here. Viper does have enough to compete. The tower's perfect here, so Vipers are going to push this back. And GamerLegion, they swarm in here. Slam knows it too. He's just trying to stay alive as long as possible. Dogao, it's a tough decision, right? He wants to help his teammates, but now he hears that this is a problem. And all of a sudden, GamerLegion have a much bigger army count, and they have the eco count. What a crazy job. And also, I mean, Doubt lost villagers, but Doubt's been on 3 TCs. Doubt's at 59 villagers, so he's doing fine there. Cool, big thing here, though, for Slam. I'm really happy that Slam was able to get the crossbow, the TC up there before the crossbows arrived. Dogao has 6 archery ranges. I feel like that's a Malian thing, right? Because of how cheap their wood buildings can be, but still, that's insane. And guys, Viper has 52 crossbows. There has not really been a moment in this game where Viper has lost his archer ball. There was a moment where it happened to Dogao, it happened to Slam, it happened to Tato. Every single player has lost some of their army at some stage and have traded it off. With how this game has progressed, Viper has not had that happen to him. And again, you know, I think with his stone and golds being on the back, it really helped him. The tower on the front was really intelligent, and we have another fight which GamerLegion should win. Maybe not, I guess, because Doubt was a little late. But overall, yeah, you know, GamerLegion is just all over them. Los Machos catching up in economy. Army counts will even out, I think, again, solely due to the fact Doubt just didn't quite have the knight numbers there. But Viper's army count still not really going down here. Incredible value on his army. I would love to toggle to the KD, actually, just to show you guys. Viper has 105 kills and 56 losses. By far the best KD in the game, and it's not even close. And I think he has the best archer civilization for this position as well, and it's not even close. And if you want to take it one step further, you could say that he's the best player in the game, and it's not even close. Though I do think it's fairly close because everyone's a beast in the top 10. We've got a lot of top 10 players in this game. Tato, maybe Doubt, maybe Slam. depending on their day. Love the idea from Tato here to guard tower rush because of the gold positions for Los Machos. And Los Machos just can't deal with this. So Slam hears about this, and Slam says it's finally time to pressure the Viper. And it's a great move from Slam as well. Viper no longer can easily reinforce. But Miguel also is not here, so Slam needs to back away as Doubt arrives. As one tower goes up, there's now a siege workshop for Tato, so he'll continue to pressure this. And I'm worried for Dogao now because he does not have a lot of gold. Where he can find gold is back here. There's these areas, and he knows it, where you can take one tile of gold at a time, but ultimately it's those main golds. Tato's was forward, and he towered it, right, using Koreans. Viper's numbers still fine, but I don't know, it's tough. It's a tough decision if you're Miguel, because if Miguel was with Slam right now, Doubt would be in trouble. But at the same time, this whole force could kill Dogao, but I think there's no pushing this back right now, so I think you have to YOLO in on Doubt. And then you hope and pray that Viper doesn't mass crossbows and get up to the next stage, right? Wow, great raids from Miguel, actually. But he's going to lose so much in the process. And Viper, I think, is just going to make his way back here to clear up Doubt. He's still completely fine and safe. All of his range is producing crossbows. Slam not close to clicking up. In fact, no one is really close to clicking up. Viper's already on the way up. Wait, did Viper delete his TC? Wait, what? What? How can you be so good and so bad at the same time? I'm sorry, but what? Okay, I mean, he's nerfing himself here, guys. He deleted his TC. I don't know what he tried to do there. Maybe there was a palisade wall or something and he just misclicked it. But mistake from Viper. And right now, I think they're just being... They realize how big of a moment this is for Los Machos. And so they're trying to assess whether they can wait or not. And I think the answer is yes. It's probably worth it for Doubt to act like he's going to take engagements just to keep his stables up. But the second Viper's in Imp, he'll click those upgrades and it should be fine. And meanwhile, I think Dogao is just kind of screwed here. But what I like is how he knows that and he's sending his army with his teammates. And I also like how Los Machos are forcing Doubt to fight, which means they will force Viper to help maybe before he wants to. The only thing there is, though, Miguel needs to actually attack, and he is attacking, meaning the TC can fire. Doubt actually using the TC to focus down the crossbows. Viper comes from the other side. He's still in Castle Age in terms of his upgrades, but tick-tock on the clock, top left, 10 seconds till the upgrades come in. Bracer would probably be enough. Bracer's in! Again, it was a great decision from Dogao to get here. It was a great decision from Los Machos to fight when they did. Because there was never a better time. I agree with everything they did there. But now that Viper has Arbalest, I don't know what they do. And Viper is actually taking a bad fight here. Probably wouldn't have completed the castle yet. But ultimately, being an Imp is enough. And I think they know. I mean, Dogao doesn't really have a great position. Miguel was making a castle to save him. So, you know, Tato and Viper, everyone would either kill Miguel next or Slam. Obviously, if Viper couldn't get this up right away, he would have to wait a little bit and still complete it. And the GG's called. What an extraordinary game there. I'm trying to think. Let's analyze this a little bit. I feel like I should be you know how the sports shows have like the little what do you call it? Like the little electronic marker that they put on the screen for positioning. So this comes back. I really want to talk about this for a second before we talk about Game 3. You know how in Game 1 I mentioned how GamerLegion's so good at controlling the game by sending their armies forward, and they'll oftentimes do that with lower numbers? Well, that's what I was complimenting Los Machos for doing in this game. This was an instance of it, right? So they are now controlling the game, and it allows Miguel to move forward with the next force, and Doubt's reactive. But the reason it's so tough to do that is because of, and forgive me, I don't know exactly where that fight was, so I have to look for it. It was because of Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Okay, so here's an instance of it. See, when you dive too deep, it looks bad. It looks really bad. Still was fine over here, and then wait for it. This moment. Okay. At this point in time, Los Machos they have complete control. They are the ones who are forcing the fights. They're the ones forcing the opponent to chase. GamerLegion does this crap all the time, and it works out. Only what happens is, as we fast forward a little bit, Los Machos go from having an army lead to then losing that army lead simply due to the fact that they dove too deep. And so you might think, well, why didn't they run away? Well, they went too far. They can't run away. They'd have to run back this way. They'd probably be trapped regardless. But yeah, maybe that was the play. Like maybe they needed to try and jockey this way. My point is that it's so difficult. And wait a second. I did not see this at the same time. I was looking at this. Slam was, if I recall, clicking back and forth. Anyways, long story short, guys, it's so complicated to dive past the enemy walls or just behind their bases and get away with it. GamerLegion, they made that happen in game number 1. And Los Machos just weren't able to do that in game number 2. Also, final note, sorry, I like to talk a lot. I think it's just bad play from Slam to let Viper in, right? The only reason Miguel fell behind Doubt, or super behind Doubt, was because there wasn't a house wall here. This whole freaking thing is house walled. There's even stone wall here. It keeps yourself protected. And then soon after this, Viper came forward, and they break through here like it's nothing. I mean, 3 houses away from Doubt maybe never running in with the Knights and the Scouts. And if those Knights and Scouts don't go in, Miguel doesn't fall behind. As right now, I mean, it's a pretty good spot. He's got units running around. His vill count is only 3 off of what Doubt has. And he's getting the extra attack. You want me to watch Viper's TC? Nah, I'm not going to go back on that because we have a lot of different things to talk about. But just a lot of small moments, man. These teams are elite. But it's the tiny little details that add up. GamerLegion's been on top of it so far. They're up 2-0. Alrighty, game number 3. And thus far, it has been non-stop GamerLegion, all right? We've got Viper, who's been on the flank every single game so far. He's been looking good. The previous game, we talked about how good Mayans are. It was straight archer play. And I think the top 2, maybe the top 3, in no particular order, it might be preference, is Mayans, Britons, and Chinese, okay? So Viper gets Chinese now. Terrifying thing if you're Slam on the other side. His pocket again is Doubt. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Doubt goes for the Burgundians. Great eco sieve for the pocket. We've been seeing the Burgundians even outperform Franks at times. And then last but not least, we've got Tato, who's playing as the Vietnamese. Tato might be considering running forward and stealing some resources. But that's not the only reason you pick Vietnamese. He hasn't gone forward to try and steal stuff from Dogal, who is Saracens. And then we have Miguel, who is Franks. And then we have Slam, who is... Oh, wait. Dogal is Ethiopian, sorry. And then Slam is Saracens. Okay. So... overall, I think it's all about power spikes from the flanks in this one. When I look at Vietnamese, I feel like they get better as the game goes on. Very good eco upgrades. Or cheap or discounted eco upgrades, which is an underrated bonus here. You get more HP on your archers. And that's incredible as the game goes on. And then you have full upgrades on Arbalest that are tanky. You can get Imperial Skirmisher if you really want to do that later. And then we could even talk about the Rattan Archer, which will just dominate in team games, right? On Viper's side, it's all about not taking early damage because the weakness of Chinese is the fact that they do not start with food. And on a map like Arabia or Savannah here, where you can be rushed, you're generally going to see the Chinese wall, play as safe as possible. Because again, if they get hit early, that's where Chinese struggle. But the longer the game goes, the better it is for Chinese. Full upgrades on Arbs. Same as Saracens, but their eco upgrade, their upgrades are discounted, whereas it is not for Saracens. So, Saracens, on the other hand, they don't have the eco necessarily, but they have a market, an amazing market rate. So sometimes you'll see Saracens use that to rush to Castle Age and kill fast. Saracens also have a team bonus, which means you destroy walls faster. And those are the 2 main things you're going to see from the Saracens. And then Ethiopians fire faster. So when I say power spike, I'm talking about, one side having bonuses which can kill fast, and then the other side having bonuses which are better overall. And it's exciting for us, too, because I think this is kind of how the series has to go. I think if the civs were reversed, I would not have as much faith in Los Machos being able to use all the bonuses throughout every single small moment of the game as I do in GamerLegion. And if I were Los Machos, I would draft to try and kill quickly in these types of situations as opposed to letting the game go on for a long time. Now, if this doesn't make sense, I honestly did my best there. Hopefully you will see examples of what will happen here. But yeah, that's basically it, okay? To me, that makes sense. But, you know, I'm at the end of the day sitting in a room alone looking at a computer screen and talking, all right? Yes, with this weird thing called the internet, there are people listening and watching, but I could just be some crazy guy at the end of the day who happens to have suckered you guys in. And maybe I just sound like I know what I'm talking about when I don't. I don't know, but there's the walls for Viper. Viper will have more villagers. Viper will have the cheaper, well, not everything, but the cheaper techs. Viper has the better civ compared to Slam. Slam, do not lose your... Ooh, do not lose some HP there. That's painful. Really puts a lot of pressure on you when you're playing against Chinese because, I mean, look at the stats on paper. This is before we talk about the cheaper techs again. 21 vills already up. Slam is at 20 vills. And Slam is 30 seconds behind a feudal. Right? So it's like, and now the scout can't really even threaten with attacking because it's weak. So now Viper can just do his thing. The only thing for Viper, though, is that gold position is really rough. It would be the same for Slam, too. Isn't Burgundians for GL more of a power spike civ compared to Franks? Well, I think, first off, I think Doubt's base is just incredible. I don't know how you could ever get a base like this on a map that's supposed to be like Arabia. And, oh, now Miguel. Now he loses HP. And it's the same thing. Now Doubt can just easily wall, and he doesn't have to worry about losing this villager. This is rough. Yeah, Doubt's base is incredible. The weakness of Burgundians would be if you can't get your walls down, so... I don't think Burgundians are really power spiky, though, until much later in the game. I think Frank's having the more HP right away is good. I think having the farm upgrade right away, the forage bonus working for you is good. You don't have to invest into any of those bonuses, whereas the Burgundians at least have to invest into their eco upgrades if they want to take advantage of it being an age earlier. But I wasn't necessarily talking about the middle positions. I think both of those civs are great all-arounders. More so talking as Tato's going to steal... Dogao, don't let him steal this. Don't let him steal the goats. Tato's stealing the goats, man. It's a goat thief. It's a goat heist. That's so annoying, man. That is such a big deal as well. Dogao's so focused on this now. And then, oh, Tato just killed the goats. Watch, it's going to go back to Dogao's color, and Tato's going to loop back. And okay, now he decides, well, I can't really do that. GamerLegion taking every advantage they can here. Double range here for Dogao. He was a lamer boy. He said, I'll kill your... Okay, no. Double range for Viper. Should be double range for Slam. Good stuff. Look at Slam scouting. Slam hasn't actually moved out, and a lot of this has to do with the weaker scout for him. Viper Scout is still out and about, and Viper Scout is checking to see what's going on with his walls, because he knows he needs to play safe. Tato Scout will actually go down, but I would expect Tato to just be as patient as possible and just brace himself because he knows how the Ethiopians fare. Typically, Ethiopians are a bit more aggressive. Yeah, FTO Gaming, I feel like the power spike that is almost unstoppable if it gets there at times is how Burgundians can instantly click Paladin later in the game. But the power spikes we're talking about, particularly in a 3v3 where you have two flanks and only one pocket, it was all going to come down to how the players on the sides play here. Again, you know, Viper moving out, he's not being tracked here, and it's just a small little thing which Doubt might be thankful for if it ends up doing damage to Miguel, because Doubt's fully walled. And to me, it looks like Miguel is fully walled as well, so you could argue that this is an attack which won't accomplish much. And we have Dogao here. And notice how Doubt tracked that. And then Slam, nowhere to be found yet. Slam hasn't really moved out yet. There he is at home. Viper still at home as well, of course. Again, Viper has no pressure to do anything fancy here. Your civilization is simply the strongest overall, but I think he got housed. I don't know how it's 30 vills for 30. And look, they just waited for the pressure, and they said, okay, I got you. Very good job here from Doubt and from Tato. They had to work together to track that as well, I'm sure, because Tato's scout is dead at this point, so Tato probably couldn't do that all on his own. I'll credit Doubt for that. This little force is an inconvenience for Miguel, but only because he really can't farm as nicely around his mill. But he seems to be maybe overreacting to it. And here comes Slam, and Viper's just waiting for him. This is how you should play it. Now, if you're Slam, and I think we have the market alerts in, buy sell events. Okay, yep. See, right now, actually earlier than now. Sorry, Slam just killed a camel. But yeah, Slam is already using the market to get to Castle Age faster. So I think Viper actually needs to go house walls behind some of his palisades, kind of like we talked about in the previous game. I think that's a safe play, because Slam will likely be in Castle Age faster. Yeah, if there's one thing that Viper has struggled with since coming back, it's the housing thing for sure. Apart from that, everything's looking really good, though. Yep. Doubt even using the market right now. It's pretty expensive at this point. And Viper worried. It's a tough one if you're Slam, right? Like, on one hand, you want to take initiative. But on the other hand, maybe you don't want to take initiative. Because if you lose your army before you're in Castle Age, it could be a problem, right? Ideally, both would be awesome. Like, if he could get some damage on Viper and then be in Castle Age faster, it'd be huge. By the way, Miguel's on the way up. Doubt is not on the way up. And this puts a lot of pressure on Dogao because he doesn't really have the support from Miguel yet. But he is actually waiting at Miguel's base. And, yep, now the support's here. And I wouldn't expect Viper's micro to be that crazy here because he's going to have to deal with this on the other side. Slam hits the wall. Makes Viper respect his presence there. Viper just waits. Viper's still not up. This could be really good for Slam. And also, I mean, again, he's a GamerLegion player who's just not playing for GamerLegion in this particular tournament. Not that Slam is that type of guy, but if I were him, I would definitely give Viper a hard time if I were to get the better of him here, you know? Say, hey, how about when I come back to GamerLegion, how about you hit the bench there, bubs? God, I wish... Slam will never do that. Ugh. We'll see what he does here, though, because, I mean, this is the opportunity we talked about. Archers for Tato. He's able to move out because Dogao has been chasing a little bit. Viper now with the house walls. Now, Saracen houses... Or Saracen still melt houses is what I wanted to say. So it's still not great, but it is something. And yeah, Viper started to do it now. Would not expect Slam to boom much. He sold all of his stone. Dogao did as well. But Dogao hasn't clicked up yet. I guess he's not too far off from Tato, though. But that's not too bad. Also over here, it's 1 Archer v 1 Archer. We'll see who wins the micro battle. Okay. Here we go. This is half the reason you get Saracens, guys. This is the moment. A lot of teams have either picked Saracens really early on their draft, or they have banned Saracens overall because they hate this. It's really tough to stop. Viper's uptime is not bad. And his army numbers are fine. It's just that with the market, you can do some incredible things. Viper has to be creative here. He probably won't use this lumber camp. We'll delete that. And he's placed a tower on his gold. He needs to delay for a little while. Now, I've noticed that Doubt has gone for extreme greed. Doubt has added the TCs. Burgundian economy, you can probably get away with it, but that's interesting. And I was curious where Slam would go. Like, Slam, right now, it looks to him like he's not doing damage. I actually think they should stay on Viper, though. Because by the time he makes it over to Doubt, right, he would have some problems. And Viper did lose a villager there. And now even Ballistics is going to be in for Slam. So even if Viper has crossbow bodkin, it's still awkward. Knights from Miguel are heading over towards Doubts. It feels like if a pocket player leaves any holes in their walls, it could be a talking point. Like this here, I can imagine Doubt showing up with a knight and Miguel hating it. Notice how, oh, there is a hole there for Doubt. He doesn't want to make a gate for some reason. On the other side, we've got a big ball for Dogal. He again has the faster firing crossbows, and he's going 3 range. I think this is the play. I think that Los Machos have picked the right civilizations for how they're playing this. Could always be the other way around, right? They're playing it as a civilization should be played. Lots of garrisoning for Doubt here. Lots of reacting for Doubt, which isn't great. Now he'll have to deal with some crossbows as well. Miguel just sniped a couple of villagers. He'll sacrifice the knights, but he's killing a few villagers, and Doubt's got a lot of idle time, too. Love this from Viper, though. I love how Viper came over to help. He knew that Doubt would be hit after this, so that's lovely. Also, at the same time, respectable micro from Slam, as he always has that front one dodging. Slam probably has a big ball. And now he knows Viper's there, so he was worried Viper would come to him. He'll head to Viper now. Here comes Doubt. Doubt could do the same thing to Miguel. We'll see if he does. Meanwhile, the micro continues between these two nerds. Very close game. Los Machos, I think, have accomplished some good things so far. But overall, Chinese, Vietnamese, and Burgundians, I feel a little bit better as the game goes on. Tato also going 3 ranges. Again, he's got more HP, so I feel like it's pretty close here. Faster firing speed means you do a little bit more damage, but then the Vietnamese crossbows have more HP. And yeah, Dogao is not really having the same amount of success that we've seen on the other side. I mean, Viper's got some numbers problems here. This is going to be the weakest game of the whole series for him, with one of his best civilizations as well. Gao just trying to get somewhere safe. Trying his best. Tato seems to like he's going to clear this up. There's also support from Doubt, so that's not bad. I'm going to tell you what Slam needs to do right now. If Slam does it, I think it gives GamerLegion... it gives GamerLegion a really tough task. You ready? You get to Viper's base, and you see Viper doesn't have army. You kill as much as you can, and if Viper hides all of his villagers and doesn't show army to respect you, you go right to Doubt. I think that's the way you play this. Yeah, screw Viper. Viper doesn't have army? Guess what? Doubt's going to make... You're going to make Doubt pay for it. It is risky because Doubt is going to have a lot of army, but in theory, Miguel should have army to protect you. And then what could happen is Tato might need to support. But man, Doubt, oh my god, 15 Cavalier already? Chain barding armor is in as well. Miguel going for TC number 4. That is a little rare these days, but I do like it. I think that you're going to be stuck in Castle Age for a while anyways, so might as well. It only hurts if you sacrifice knight numbers. Like, he is still producing out of the stables, so as long as the balance there, it's fine. Now, the other thing you can do, they've clearly seen enough from Doubt to be scared at this point. The other thing you can do is you can just work together with your teammate. Oh, that's the key, though. Work together with your teammates. Slam is in. He's up against a tower. He's up against Cavalier now. And look at Viper. Viper's going to try and block this off. Okay, well, he couldn't do it. Still seems like a pretty reasonable fight overall, though, for GamerLegion. Slam maybe feeling the need. Are those knights trapped? Oh, my God, man. Oh, my God. All those knights are trapped because of the one Cavalier. That was like 6 knights on the same tile trapped. Miguel's playing so well right now, but, man, that's not going to help matters. Still have Tato moving around, by the way. Dogao trying his best to track that. Dogao did add a second town center here. Now, as Viper and Doubt push out, there's not a whole lot of Viper, by the way. Viper only at 9 army, but as they push out, you would expect that Miguel is going to be having a few more knights because it's closer to his base. It takes a long time. Doubt's adding more stables, but still takes a long time for him to get across the map. The thing is, though, Cavalier have 12 base attack. So it's still the same amount of HP because Burgundians don't get bloodlines. But that extra attack is super helpful here. And Doubt is now getting attack upgrades, so he's going to have 13 attack and potentially 14 in Castle Age, which is just something that you cannot do unless you're Lithuanians getting relics or Burgundians, as Doubt is right now. Tato was in on Dogao on this side. The micro continues for those two, but also we have this to focus on. This is close micro. Right now, I'm preferring Tato's position just because he has the control. And, oh, look what this means. Dogao losing more army off of golds. But I think what was good for Los Machos is that Doubt didn't dive on Slam there, because Slam was a little exposed on his own. I think now Los Machos could, in theory, just try and snowball a push against Viper, but I don't know, man. Doubt has so much army. But this is kind of why I liked the 4th town center from Miguel, because this is common. Producing a lot of army is very, very common for the Frank player, particularly because the Burgundian player will rush Imp because they can click Paladin right away. Franks can't do that. They have to get Cavalier like every normal Civ and then wait for Paladin. So now's kind of the moment of truth. The side here, Tato's winning, and that's obviously great for GamerLegion. But the key now is, will Doubt be able to hold off? Will he survive and will Viper survive before Paladin's in? And guys, I think the answer is yes. I mean, Doubt's got so much. And then argument against the 4th TC is for the faster Imperial Age. You could argue that 81 villagers, maybe not at this stage, but 81 villagers with Burgundians is like 90, 95 for other civs because of when they get their eco upgrades. Ooh. Okay, so Miguel's been on stone. This TC was intentionally placed on stone so we could get defensive castles, which are cheap with Franks. Great castle to place. Tato could die to this. Now, Tato is already ahead, at least with army control, over Dogao, so... Oh, no. No, they're looping over to Doubt right now. So Paladin's half off for Burgundians. Yeah, it just feels like Doubt's going to dominate. And then also, plate barding armor takes about 90 seconds. So we're still 2.5 minutes away from Doubt being where he wants to be. But we have a lovely castle here from Viper, which will protect his golds. And he's sending what he can here just to prop Doubt up, because they know. Doubt just needs to get Paladin, and he needs to get the final armor, and then it's a problem here for Los Machos. Miguel is played out of his mind. He's got 108 villagers. He's got good army production. Slam has played out of his mind as well, and I think that's what I'm going to circle back to eventually, because, like, Viper has not had a great game, truthfully. Slam is already on the way to Imp. Viper just clicked. But the key for me is that they never were able to apply the finishing blow to Viper, and they never made GamerLegion pay with Viper not having the army to protect out. Miguel trying to get out of here. Right now, he's hoping that Slam can hide. Look at Slam hiding in the choke point. Slam's like, don't bring them to me right now. Look at GamerLegion's point of view. They're really curious. I think they're actually looking to hit this army. That's a spot and a half right there. And hey, upgrades are on the way in for Slam. But armor's already in for Doubt, and I think they just don't want this army to progress. Slam does realize that the best place for him to go is probably this way, because Viper is not the biggest threat, but at the end of the day, so much is still going down. It's a horrible spot to be trapped for Los Machos. Still probably the best case scenario after arriving here, but Doubt 45 seconds away from Paladin. Miguel 10 seconds away from Imp. And there's just, I really struggle to see how GamerLegion can be stopped now. This is the power spike we talked about. I forget who it was in my chat, but this is what someone had asked me about. They're like, isn't the power spike with the Burgundians really strong? Yeah, at this stage, right? Just clicking instant Paladin, which is such an important tech in team games, is so insane. The resources you save is half of it, right? It being half off is nice. But just being able to click it right away saves you such a great deal of time. Again, the army was there for Miguel and Slam. They could have maybe doubled the Viper. Now Viper's economy is good. Now Viper can actually compete. Viper's army count will be high. He's recovering. And Tato, another thing I couldn't talk about is that Tato is actually in the Imperial Age. Though Gal is now far away from Imp. And it feels like Doubt will kill anyone he arrives to at this point. Miguel playing catch-up. He's now researching Paladin, okay? And he does have the stronger Paladins. So Burgundians get full blacksmith upgrades, but what they don't have is bloodlines. So they only have 160 HP. Franks end up having 190 HP in the end. So that is a big difference. You can tank more shots for sure. But the damage that is going to be done on the other sides right now is the biggest problem. Not so much over here, though. Viper doesn't have the support from Doubt. But if Dogao isn't alive with army, this becomes a problem. And Dogao is crumbling here. His army's all going down. Could actually lose his MTC too, but it's the correct play to always focus army because you don't know that's the MTC. His TC will go down. No goal control for Dogao. GamerLegion, man, just too good. Spoilers at this point for anyone who didn't see the first semi, so maybe mute the stream for a second. But the very first semifinal was an absolute stomp. It was a 4-0. This one's looking like it could be a similar thing with the way this is going. It's going to be hard for Los Machos to really feel confidence, you know? Like, how can you be confident after going down 3 games? I don't think they necessarily played bad here either. I think they played a good series, but similar to AM. AM, too well-rounded. Their individual players just looking strong every time you see them. This is the moment, though. Again, Viper's on the back foot. He needs a little bit of support from Doubt. And now you have Miguel with an untouched economy. If Miguel can get up to 30, 40, 50 Paladins, Doubt might not be able to achieve that, but Dogal's dead, man. Dogal's dead. And Viper, his situation's fine because he's got production buildings. He's got the castle. He's got 120 villagers. He's got the market, which I guess will be a long journey, but he'll be able to trade. Miguel would really have to kill somebody right now. I get that they're trying to get the markets up as well because that's normal. But the army difference is insane, as well as the economy difference, and Dogal can't contribute at all. I have to look back, but to me it really felt like they had the position they needed against Viper. What Viper did a great job of was falling back to the tower. He didn't take many Vil losses to Slam's early attack. But at the same time, I mean, his numbers were so much worse. I guess they just kept going to Doubt, and Doubt played like such a god this game. That Doubt always had the Cavalier numbers. I don't know. The more I think about it, I think Miguel and Slam needed to continue to focus Viper's ranges and just steamroll him. There should have never been a world where he could get the castle up here, but obviously it's very tricky. And so, yeah, I mean, Frank Paladins are strong. But now it's 3 players against 2, so Miguel's has 50 of them right now, but the Arbalest will probably be good enough to hold off small groups. Viper just really trying to hold here on his own. 7 trade already for the Snake. Yeah, and I don't even know if the word outplayed is necessarily accurate here, Rentar, because at the end of the day, Slam is working with his bonuses, which should lead to him having a faster castle age. And then Doubt was working with his bonuses, which should give him a better boom and a better mid-castle age composition than Miguel. But the unit grouping, right? The potential just... It was there, and yet it wasn't. I just never saw a spot where I'm like, ah, this is going to be bad. They did take a bad fight against Viper, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, certainly with the numbers that Slam had, you should have expected Viper to fall off. Slam's got 86 ARBs, by the way. I don't know if anyone's noticed that number. He's at 200 pop. That's insane. Look at Doubt and look at Tato, though. Full focus on Miguel. Miguel has 55 Paladins. That's a lot of Paladins. But not being able to take this gold will hurt it this time, and they kind of have to trade. Like, if they have any chance at winning, they have to make sure they're trading right now. Great raids from Miguel. Viper's gone for Onager just to hold because he doesn't have the numbers that Slam has here. Slam will use the Arbalest, and he'll take out the Onager. Then the big fight over here. Doubt still doesn't want to move in unless he has the support from Tato. Again, that trade count will continue to climb for GamerLegion. It's very much a maintain this type of position for another 5 to 10 minutes and you win the game situation. When I say maintain, obviously don't continue to lose grounds here if you're Viper. Hold your position. And they could even hold here in theory. Look at the HP, though. Miguel actually has more HP, but because half of his units can't be engaging against the Arbalest, that's the biggest problem. Again, I can't say Miguel has had a bad game here. 40 Paladins. He's got more than Doubt does. He has trade pumping as well. He hasn't had a flank for who knows how long. Dogal's trying to get back into it. Are they still alive here? Are they holding this right now? No way, Miguel. And you know what really helps in these situations is Chivalry, to have the faster producing stables. So we've had a lot of pros and cons conversations, right? And the Burgundians don't get any better from here. I guess they have the unique tech, Burgundian Vineyards, and you can talk about how that affects their economy, but they're maxed. And the Franks are maxed too, but the Franks have a better max potential. Slam, you've got 60 army here, man. You've got bomber cannons. You've got to kill the snake. Or maybe you could ask Miguel to send a couple paladins into Viper's economy or something. It feels like they're just going to run into areas which is expected at this point. Like this here. The castles are already up. Doubt already sees this. I have to disagree with Dogal producing out of the archer ranges that are right underneath this castle. I mean, when he hops out, he's going to lose most of those units. But he's trying, right? And he's under pressure. It's hard to make the right moves when you're behind. Miguel has to almost be out of gold right now. I'm keeping an eye on how much he has on gold. Doubt has 44 on gold. There's no way Miguel can get that. And Viper with Imperial Skirms, man. It's a team thing, guys. If you're on the team of Vietnamese, you can get Imperial Skirms. And he hasn't had to worry about Miguel. I mean, Doubt will have to deal with this. Good raids from Miguel. Viper going down below 100 villagers. Doesn't feel the greatest. Slam in need of defending himself, though, which means he's in need of paladins. Miguel has to worry about this ball from Tato on this side. And I don't see Ethiopian skirmishers really being that effective here against Vietnamese Arbalest. With all the extra HP and having the hill and having other units mixed in, it still seems like a desperation attempt. No matter how this game goes, you can't say that Miguel hasn't played well. I mean, I thought they were so GG. But still, they've just been delaying the inevitable. Viper pushing with trebuchets here. Slam on the back foot. Slam now has less than Viper does with military. Viper has a lot of work to do, though. The Paladins have really moved everywhere. But I'm expecting Doubt to have a higher Paladin number here. I've been waiting for it. It's only at 20 right now. I'm sure he's just got some units in the queue, and Tato has a 100 army that can't be stopped. In terms of the total trade, I'm just doing quick maths here. Something like maybe 20 right now for GamerLegion. Actually, it's about 20 as well for Los Machos, which is wild, man. Holy. I would love for them to come back. I would love for Los Machos to come back. I do not want another sweep. And what an incredible comeback it would be. Look at this. Miguel is here. Again, no clue how Miguel's getting this gold. He might be running out soon because he's making light cav now. But if they can push Viper and maybe get into that trade, which is all back there, they've got a chance, man. I think Tato's job has to be pushing Miguel. And Dogal. Whoa, Dogal is 127 vills? What? I mean, it's full skirmisher as his army, so Paladins could get over there from Doubt. Guys, where's Doubt's army? He's got 30 Paladins. He needs to have it here, or he needs to have it here. And yeah, there he is. You see how little skirmishers do against the Paladins? And now the straight skirmisher army is the problem. Miguel, though, just killed 20 villagers here. He's also through again. to get into Doubt's economy. He's been maxed out here, but he's not going to be maxed out on Paladin, which is something we need to bring it back to here. He's making light cav right now. He's hoping that the trade will start bringing in the gold he needs for consistent Paladin production. This gold was such a crucial area for Tato to control. I think it was the last possible gold for Miguel to take after whatever gold he's taking somewhere disappears. Light cav killing villagers from Miguel. He's in the trade as well. They have got the castles up. Slam is pushing. Slam's got Trebs and Bombard Cannons. He has the Arbalest. The army count is very similar. And Los Machos has more eco right now. What? The army count's the same, and Los Machos has more economy. Granted, they don't have the trade. They have the score lead as well. Viper's falling off. Viper is losing ground. What is this? We'll look at the trade numbers right now. I'm going to toggle this. Whoops, switch the color. Sorry, hard to manage. Oh, God, did it again. It's fine. We're good. Trade numbers are there at the bottom right. Obviously, quite good for Slam. Slam's got 30. And Viper's going to be raided by Lycav, and Viper can't deal with this. Look at the villagers. You know, I'm all about game flow, right? This is how this is going to flow. This is going to have a flow. This is going to flow. There was a beaver who built a freaking dam in one of the rivers of the game flow because, bad analogy, this is just crazy. Tato, he's trying his best to take a Treb, which he may or may not take, but he will lose the Bombard Cannon. Oh, man, unfortunate there for Dogal. And Slam goes forward with an in-your-face castle on Viper. Where is the support from Doubt? It's possible that Doubt just doesn't have the units or doesn't have the speed. Miguel is over here doing some damage. Miguel is in here doing some damage. Miguel! This is insane raiding, man. Now, they still have to deal with this, though. This is still so tough. And I would love to see Tato push even faster now because Viper is probably yelping right now like, hey, I'm dying over here. Not that he would do that. I'm sure they're very calm. Viper's had to remake ranges. And still, Lycav all up in the trade here from Miguel. Ridiculous game. If they can hold this, if they can hold this position right here, they can win this game. But it's can they hold this position? Because right beyond the castle is the trade line. And Tato's forces is still very high. Also, still random Lycav, Paladin, everything. Everywhere you look, Miguel has units. This is by far his best game of Boa. I don't care if they win or lose. This is incredible performance. Clearing up the skirmishers in the trade. I mean, is there anywhere he isn't right now? I'm seeing green dots in all the enemy corners. I'm seeing green all up in his base. They're holding this. They're holding this. Holy crap. Now, listen, I'm good friends with Miguel. I will admit that I'm always seeing, I do this with players where I know what they're capable of, right? I'm like, oh, yeah, this guy's capable. And sometimes they can't always pull it out. And I will be the first to admit, I'm good friends with Miguel, and I have a lot of belief in him, right? But seriously, guys, I mean, I don't know how this game's still continuing. I think Slam has been underrated, too, because he's had a consistent production of trade. He's got 80 Arbalest as well. 80 Arbalest is no joke. But my God, man. And Dogal, I mean, we should also be crediting him because Dogal came back from the dead. He's back from the dead. He's making skirmishers only. Has yet to really be punished by heavy Paladin production from Doubt because Doubt has been needed on the other side. Viper goes in with a push with siege rams. The thing is, though, Viper can't get the siege rams in on the castle, guys. He doesn't have enough support from Doubt. And Viper could end up getting pushed back right after this. Look at Slam. Slam will save some of his siege. And Viper's putting a lot of his gold in the siege rams, and now he has to fall back. Should Tato have made a run for the trade or something? Here goes Doubt. Doubt's trying to do so. At least getting some kills there. And look at the castles for Dogal. Dogal is protecting that trade line. I'm going to keep it on the trade at the bottom right because I think at this point that's the most important thing. It's Slam and Miguel, dude. Guys, I think Viper's going to die. I think Viper's completely dead. The thing about Miguel right now is only that he's maybe overboomed a little bit. When you start to add this much trade, you should aim to delete a few vills. It depends on his resources, obviously. But with Saracen, Arbalest, and Siege, Viper will lose all of his buildings very quickly here. And relying on just Skirmisher is just not going to cut it for him. I'll actually check the resources, too. He's at the limit. So Tato and Doubt have to win this side right now because Viper is going to disappear. And Tato's here. Tato has the Trebs. Guys, what a close game. 200 army for both teams. Viper's on his own. Not quite. Doubt's here with Light Cav. Yeah, Slam and Miguel are consistently pop cap. So it's hard to do in the moment. And they probably shouldn't do it right now. But if you could just delete like 10 Lumberjacks, technically, you'd have a little bit more space for some of the other things. But, you know, it's not something you can think of when you have to produce army and spam nonstop. I'm going to eliminate the market things right now, the selling, because Viper's just going to be selling wood desperately to get gold. And what he is doing a great job of is making more production buildings. He's probably had 100 archer rangers in this game. In before someone's like, at least he didn't make the archer ranges on a neutral island. You know, in before that joke, but, and you're right, by the way. There's no island here, so that would be a little bad if you were to try that. But guys, I mean, GamerLegion, they have to hold on this side. And then we've got Los Machos trying to hold on this side. And look at this. I'm not sure if Slam sees it, but they certainly sense it here. Slam is amazing with his quick walls and his gates. He's dropping the gates here. Doubt wants to get into the trade. It's wide open, guys. It is wide open down there. I don't see the gates staying up here. Normally, gates that aren't finished will not stay up. Oh, man. He got fortified wall, though. No, it's not enough. Doubt could run into the trade. Doubt could run into the trade there. Tato and Dogao just keep going at it here with support of their pockets. But we have Miguel also getting some raids cleared up. Here goes the forces from Doubt. Meanwhile, Viper has held. Viper has held. The total, the max possible population here, guys, is 600 per team. In case you guys didn't do the math, because it's 200 per player, okay? So they have been flirting with max pop as a team for a while now. What gets complicated is, are you on your best army composition for the team? Do you have too many villagers or too few villagers or enough trade carts or not? Yada, 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 yada. And over here, the composition is going to wither away for Tato. Tato's actually the weak link now. The Skirms have been trading against him for a long time, and now Miguel shows up with full Paladin. This is something Doubt's just not doing, right? Doubt doesn't have the same amount of gold income. It's 49 on gold versus 28, and you have to assume that's trade. And the Frankish Paladins are stronger, as we said. But at the same time, Miguel is needed over here because when he's not, Viper's mix of skirmishers and arbalest is good against Slam. And Viper's like, no, 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 Slam. I'm going to push you right back. And yeah, there's no chance this castle stays up. Just a matter of if this castle stays up. Both teams are in need of castles in the trade line. And I think Dogao, he maybe needs... Well, he is thinking about it. I was going to say he needs to think about something else. And he's going to go into siege now. So Onager seems like a really nice move. Slowly trying to whittle this down. Tato's making rats and archers, which I also think is a good move. The only downside, I'd say, for rats and archers is just the fact that he has so many of his castles forward. So if it doesn't work, he's committing towards a unit that he might not be able to make as much. But elite rats and archers just insane. They do a ton of damage. They're very mobile, much more mobile than Arbalest, and a lot tankier against other units such as Skirms. But this game is nuts. This, for me, is the best game of Battle of Africa 3. I know I didn't see every single game. But, you know, for a day where things have been so stompy, incredible game. And I really hope, I mean, just for the mindset of the players in the series, I really hope that Los Machos can actually make it happen. But GamerLegion just not going away without a fight. Guys, the splits here, well, they were amazing. But the micro's just incredible. And the team support here from Miguel again. As his paladins just arrive and Viper gets pushed right back. Both Slam and Doubt have the bombard cannons, and Viper's trying his best to dodge, but again, he doesn't have the buffer of the paladins. And any buffer that comes in, it's weaker paladins. Los Machos, however, do have issues on this side because Tato's rats and archers are paying off. And again, if this castle were to get pushed, the trade is right behind it. So similar to what we talked about before, both teams needing good control of their trade route. Viper falls back for maybe the third or fourth time in this game. Man, how resilient has he been? I don't know if it gets much better than this, though, for GamerLegion. You're only making inferior Paladin if you're Burgundians. Viper's going to be on Arbalest and Skirmisher. That's just how it is, right? And as it stands, Viper is 40 Arbalest behind what Slam has. And Slam is going to go siege himself here and keep pushing back the buildings like we expected before. Tato's on Elite Radsens. Now, we haven't really had the chance to maybe see them be successful. But I believe Dogal's... I mean, it got better for him after researching Torsen engines. More splash damage on his siege has just mopped up all those skirms. And that can get even better for him, right? Oh, wait a second. Tato's going for Chatras and Elite Battle Elephant, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he could go for something more. And Viper survived, guys. Viper needs to hold right here, right now. They're into the corner. Castle will go up for Viper. I think if you see this castle going up, you just have to fall back a little bit if you're Slam and be patient. Don't rush it, because now Miguel has lost his units or will lose his units. And just push as you were up this hill. That's all. You know, just push Viper casually. Oh, God! Slam! Split! He's so good. There's a reason GamerLegion has him. Massive shot from Viper, but still Slam so good as he realizes he needs to fall back. Guys, finally, Dogal has made progress here. A player who was dead before. He's made some progress. Miguel's going to send his Paladins right up the middle. Could be a problem, potentially, because now that the elephants are in, this is definitely not something Dogal's going to like to see. Chatras means they have 420 HP, so not easy to deal with. I would love to see a big bombard cannon shot, though. Boom, right here. Attack round. Boom. Oh, I think Tato's engaging against these. Boom. Boom, Dogal. There's no boom. The Trebs are going down. The bombard cannons are fleeing. Miguel's attack in the middle. Better pay off here. And he's got 57 Paladins. He's got 20 in queue. He has more trade cards than anyone else in this game. He has been a beast. And Miguel also, I think, intentionally doesn't have many Lumberjacks so he can max out on Paladin on both sides. What an outrageous game, man. Los Machos have had a consistent 50 or so population lead. It's a lovely game. Now, what Dogal does have is he does have resources. Because he hasn't really been spending gold on anything but siege. And he does have skirms to help with Rattons, and he has halves against elephants. So it feels like it's manageable for him to hold. It's an amazing raid here on the trade. Dowd has just really not been as supportive as he was earlier in the game, and Miguel has shown up massively in the Imperial Age. And even though Franks are better, I think it's fair to say that Miguel has just turned it up a notch, right? It's like Dowd, and this is a thing for him, he's got a very consistent level, which is very high. Certain players in certain moments can just go to these elite levels, and Miguel did that here. And I haven't seen him do this in a long time. And he's back on this side. Dogal repairing the bombard cannons. That's hilarious. If you really break that down, that's ridiculous. Just hammering the back of a dude's leg. And yeah, and now all these buildings will start to go down for Tato. Obviously, he'll put up a fight. I mean, it's still a 50 population lead right now for Los Machos. It's hard for them because there's castles everywhere to get the trade rate in. But you just have to slowly push back here. Slam needs to do what he can to hold, which he's obviously been doing. And then if there's ever a moment where Miguel doesn't have to send Paladins to the right or doesn't have to send Paladins to the left. Great time for heavy plow, by the way, Slam. Great catch there. You know, if there's ever a time, then you maybe swing to the trade again. But the last time Miguel was in the trade, he did hit and kill trade cards, which ultimately will lead to less gold. And so it could lead to a better attack here. I actually liked the siege rams from Viper R-Base because Viper needed to push back a bit. He needed to have something more Supplies for Tato. I just, noticed that. If elephants don't work, though, I don't see that champions will. Yeah, it's a problem for GamerLegion, and they realize it now. Viper tried his best on this side. He has consistently struggled to match the Arbalest number from Slam. If Viper had 70 arbs, it would be different. He doesn't have the gold for that. Hasn't had the gold for that in a long time. Ooh. Okay, you see the panic there from Dogal? He notices the rats and archers could run into the trade, and he immediately probably bought that castle and drops it in the trade. Also think he deleted all those villagers if you're wondering where they went. Castle should go up. You might need a little bit of support from Miguel because the Ratons could still run past this. But ultimately, I think that should be fine. What a comeback. I really thought this was going to be a 3-0. I thought that... Oh, big shot potential here. Oh! No! Oh, he didn't really land it. Oh, jeez. I actually yelled because I didn't think the Onager was going to pop out. I thought it was going to be a doubt Onager. But yeah, I mean, I thought this game was over. I really thought that GL had this one in the bag. And I don't know. I mean, we'll have to sum it up, right? Maybe you look over at Tato and say that Tato should have pushed Dogal faster. I think that's probably it. Like, he's a little casual about it. Never made a deep push into the corner. Tato will regret that. But again, Miguel's performance for me is the standout performance. And Slam deserves a shout there as well because of his Arbalest count as being insane and being up against the Viper, of course. But Miguel had like 6 raids going on, clearing up stuff in his own base, and still had to defend both sides for a while there, but while his trade was getting up and running. Yeah, Doubt is in a tricky spot. You guys are looking at his eco. He never has really felt like he's floating resources because of how much he's producing and how much he loses. So he never has a big mass. Leads to consistent issues with numbers, which leads to constant production. And so as a player, sometimes you don't look at the number. Good shots from Viper. You don't look at the number as much as you look at your resources. He's adding trade, which you should, but maybe having so much on wood is the issue here, and he should technically delete some. But again, I mean, this is something that results from being under constant pressure. GamerLegion are still slowly losing this area. There's no doubt about it. They're in trouble here. Slam is even killing some Viper villagers. Viper's population's been lower than ever. Doubt's population is actually still high, I guess, but will be lower than ever soon. And the GG's called. What a game. What a game. That was incredible. And what was the highest produced unit for the winning team? 634 freaking paladins. GamerLegion started trade first. GamerLegion had killed off Dogal. And Miguel's like, nope. He just yanked Dogal right out of the grave. Said, you're coming with me, mister. And we're going to game 4. And the score is going to be 2-1. 634 paladins. The highest created unit on the other side was 291 halbs from Tato. Can someone do the math? It was 1 hour and 24 minutes. Okay. So that's 84 minutes. Just average that out for me. What is that, like 80 paladins a minute or something? Or is that way off? That might be 8 paladins a minute, actually. 80. Wait. Okay, anyways, you guys do the math. You guys are the mathematicians. That was just ridiculous. And again, what was most impressive to me is that they had to weather that storm. But I need to circle back to Slam. There was not really a point in the entirety of Imp where Slam didn't have 70 arbs. The guy was a monster in this game. I do think they could have actually snowballed against Viper earlier, but I'm glad that we don't look back at that and talk about how, that was a missed opportunity. So for all the hype we give Miguel, I think that if Slam wasn't so good against Viper, that Miguel wouldn't have been able to do it on his own. They both had to play out of their minds once Dogal got pushed back. And, Slam right now has 52 Arbalest in queue, for example. Holy. But Miguel. So if there's ever a moment where I say, oh, listen, I really favor Miguel, it's because I know how good he is. And I made a statement last weekend that said, hey, I really think that he can be a top 5 player, a top 5 pocket player. And there's at least a performance that shows it. I want to look at his APM, actually. Is there any spikes in there? Apparently, Dogal spiked here. Probably some weird thing. There's no way. 284 actions per minute. He was everywhere. And early imp. 1,200 kills. I think that Doubt and Tato just thought... I think GamerLegion kind of thought the game was won. They were trading first, and Dogal was dead. And because they thought the game was won, they just didn't go for the kill, right? The opportunity was there. In fact, what I could probably do... we want to look at total population. Can I do it by team? Is that not possible? Okay, I guess this is more confusing than I anticipated. But what I wanted to check was the total population around here. Because right here, I mean, there's plenty of opportunities where you're looking at this and you're like, GamerLegion, 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 GamerLegion. And I think they just needed to run to the corner, stop the trade, and there's no way that comeback happens. Maybe one of the rare opportunities where if you were to ask GamerLegion, they would say that that was a bit of a throw from them or something, because, I mean, Miguel played out of his mind. It wasn't like the other team gifted them the win. I still, it's so surprising to me they brought that back. Actually, another stat I wanted to look at was the Eco KD this game, because I'm sure it was wild. Economy. Is there no Eco KD here? Ah, okay, check this out. So, Eco KD. I might be blind, but check this out. So, Dowd had to spend so much time making more vills because of Miguel's kill. Again, forgive me if I don't see Eco KD. I can go into game. But 256 total villagers that game for Dowd. 230 total villagers that game for Viper. Even Dogal only had 203 total villagers, and he was almost defeated by Tato. That's all Miguel's raids. So if you have to reproduce 100 villagers, you're not going to have the resources to defend your armies as much. Yeah. And let's actually see Eco KD. Is it not in team games? Oh my god, dude. Guys. It's even crazier. Even crazier than we thought. Look at this. 382 kills on villagers and only lost 21. Oh my god! Holy crap. And then Viper, 23 villagers killed, 216 lost. Now 80 villagers killed, 165 lost. Miguel killed 3 economies worth, 3 post-imp economies worth of villagers. Incredible. And we have more games to talk about. I really hope that Los Machos can snowball that into some, more energy as they plan for the next game. I think they're taking a break, actually, because they have a lobby, but none of the Los Machos guys have joined. So, ladies and gents, after probably the best game of Battle of Africa 3, we are here. A little bit of a delay, as players needed a break after that one, and I don't blame them. We have Tato in the red, and we have Doubt in the yellow, and then we have Viper in the pink. It's Byzantines, Malay, and Berbers. But the big thing for me, and the thing I'll talk about right now, is that every other Canyon Lake game I've seen, we have had Lithuanians versus Persians, Lithuanians versus Persians, Lithuanians versus Persians. Now, I made a prediction earlier that if they didn't have those civs, that GamerLegion would YOLO scouts to try and stop the villager that is here. I'm not seeing the scouts coming out, but you can actually tell that they expect it to happen over here for Los Machos because Dogal's even sent some support. The reason you want Lithuanians or Persians is because Lithuanians start with plus 150 food, meaning you can place the lumber camp super early. You don't need to prioritize food as much, and then you can dock fast. And so you dock fast with the wood you have, you chop wood early, and that leads to fast fishing ships. So you can dock faster than any other civ can justify. You can fish faster than any other civ can justify. The only other civ was Persians, because Persians start with plus 50 wood, plus 50 food. So they do a very similar thing. They don't need to go on wood as fast. They need to go on food a little earlier, but they still send the vill. And so on the civilization draft, I don't know if Los Machos sensed that, but they picked Persians and they also picked Lithuanians. And so I'm looking over here at Doubt, and yeah, Doubt's Berber, so he has faster villagers, but because he doesn't have those starting bonuses, I don't know if he's going to go out to dock on water. I mean, it's not like Berbers are necessarily bad on this map. We see a lot of scouts and knights from the middle position. But just fully giving up water, I would see as a mistake. It is going to be something they'll want to address at some point, because otherwise Miguel's got 8 times 250 food available to himself in the middle. And it's not like his Vil count will suffer because of this. He's already ahead simply due to the fish. So we'll see. Miguel's flanks, we have Dogao playing as the Italians. Italians are good water civ. I don't actually expect him to dock, though. The theme has been scout, archer, scout, archer, scout, archer. Cheaper to go up to each age. Very good archer civ. That's what I expect to see. Also, Dogao, don't lose his Vil, please. Okay, should be fine. On the other side, you've got Slam. What an extraordinary performance from him in the previous game. He's playing as the Vikings. Vikings actually lost Thumb Ring at some point this year. Maybe it was last year. The devs removed Thumb Ring because Vikings were one of the best archer civs due to their eco and full archer techs. So now they're nerfed when it comes to archers. That, I think, is going to be the only standout difference on this side. Apart from the eco, it's still the same with Vikings. Their eco's insane. Kato's Melee advances faster to the next stage. We'll just go into archers most likely and snowball it. Viper's Byzantines, cheaper to go up to the Imperial Age. I'm sure he'll do archers and snowball. But look at the eco difference between Doubt and between Miguel. And now watch Miguel's uptime. Miguel's going to be a little bit later, right? But he'll still be able to make just as many scouts as Doubt, if not more, because he has the fish boom. So I think the map, it's a bit unfortunate that if you don't have Persians or Lithuanians, the map just can't be played to this full potential. That's maybe a map issue, but it's certainly a draft issue for GamerLegion to have Miguel, who just played, he killed 382 villagers and lost 20 in the previous game. A stat line I don't think I've ever seen. You've given him a massive lead now and a position where he can have a lot of success. So yeah, we'll see. Now, somebody had asked me, like, T90, what do you think about tournament rules where you could ban certain types of units from being made? And that I think stemmed from someone noticing that it's scout, archer, scout, archer, scout, archer all the time in these 3v3s. I'm not a fan of that. I mean, it could be funny. Like, you know, you ban stables and archer ranges, and then it's like scorpions and monks and whatnot. But honestly, I think if there's ever a situation where we're seeing the same things all the time, it typically comes back to maps, right? Everyone's got a different point of view on that, on what type of game they want to see. The scout archer can be very aggressive and very snowbally, but also a bit repetitive, right? So it's a preference thing. I think that at the end of the day, if there's anything, whether it's 1v1s or team games, that is a standout and potentially a problem for you, it's a map thing, right? Like, for example, you know, this here for Lithuanians, the Lithuanian-Persian conversation is only a thing because the water's not a little bit closer. I think if the water was... Well, actually, that's not true. I actually think it would be strong regardless, but there's things you can do, is my point. Add a little bit more water, more incentive for everyone to come on water, then there's not going to be just one player fully fishing, etc., etc. But Canyon Lake has been around for a long time. Players understand it, and that meta is pretty new. Surprise, surprise. Tata sees 2 ranges on this side. Slam knows exactly what's up. Yeah, for me, no. I might cast a game or two of it. I think it'd be a funny idea. I like to have no restrictions on how players can play, and then balance the maps or the event around how I think maybe things could develop. Now, small mistake here for Slam. So first off, he's later to feudal, so he's already going to fall behind in the archer numbers, but he did get housed there. But this archer did not start to produce until a bit later. And you can see the difference in the numbers right now. Tato's done a much better job in that regard. Over here, we've got double range from Dogao. Interesting position for his ranges. I actually really like that. Also, look at this, guys. Wow, he's made an outpost here. And he's making a house here. It's like a line of vision for them as a team. And he has already researched Town Watch. That's really smart. But Dogao, or not Dogao, sorry, Doubt is actually going to the other side. And I think Miguel is going to see this and understand that that's the case. Kind of a bad fight for Miguel there. Miguel will need to make more scouts. But yeah, in theory, Miguel can spend more. Obviously hurts Miguel and maybe Slam because Slam is behind on this side, right? Especially with the gold being exposed. And again, another situation where Slam's not actually producing. Not producing, not producing. There you go. Okay. So it's 6 archers versus 9, but no damage was done. So that's not really normal here. Slam almost loses an archer as well, and they're kind of just parking on his production buildings. We're going to see Miguel ramp it up a notch, possibly with a blacksmith upgrade. He's getting armor. He's waiting. And this is something that makes sense with the flow of the game. Again, Miguel's got fish. He is traveling a really long distance for it, I guess. GamerLegion, I think, sense that this could be a problem. Doubt getting bloodlines now. I personally am very curious. I think Berbers can definitely compete with Lithuanians in the mid game, but I just haven't seen a game on this map where there's been someone who's just given up the water fully. And actually, look at this. So we have Viper. You look at Viper's position. Viper's Byzantine, so he gets Town Watch for free, and he's kind of just waiting. Let's see if Viper scouts this. This would just be incredible game sense. Ooh. They sense something's up, don't they? Miguel also going with Slam towards Miguel's base to keep Miguel protected. Viper senses something's up. But notice how he sent his army back now. He's like, well, you know what? Maybe the archers aren't going this way, but he's not 100% certain. And the way teams will communicate in these situations is Viper will say, I don't see my guy. Just keep an eye out, basically. Doubt with the market. I'm sure buying food right now like crazy because that's his favorite thing in the world to do. And now the archers are here. And now Viper's like, well, crap. You don't apologize. But, you know that that's going to set your guy back compared to Miguel. But still, in the end, good news for Doubt and Tato is that they still have the potential to do some damage here. So Doubt not being able to take gold is a really big deal. And he actually had just sold his stone guys to go up to the next stage. So you sell stone and you buy resources. This is the biggest problem for GamerLegion right now, is the fact that Doubt is in a pickle. He's in a massive pickle. And he could lose all of his lumberjacks here. And meanwhile, things are actually looking pretty good for Miguel. That said, he has produced a lot of scouts. And he did get a lot of upgrades. But if they can kill Tato as Miguel gets to the hill, boom! What a great position for him. This is an amazing fight for them, I think. Yeah, it should be, right? Tato's micro is actually pretty good. Yeah, an amazing fight for them there. Doubt's losing his entire wood line. And it's all because Viper was unable to track that army from Dogao. That's the difference in scouting, guys. And a bit unfortunate, obviously, for Viper. He had just missed it. He had the right idea. But Doubt obviously paid the price for that. And now Viper could pay the price, too, because the scouts in support of Dogao could head over towards Viper. So the good news is that Dogao lost all of his army. Because if this army would have run away, Doubt would have to deal with that even more. But Doubt has 28 eco, 0 army. And for Miguel, granted, he is late to clicking up. If he just weathers the storm, his eco is just so much stronger. See what I mean? Like, you have to track those armies, and Viper, he's going to be upset about that one, I think, because, again, the idea was sound. Now he has to respect these scouts, and he has to respect that Dogao's here. And now Viper pays the price. Los Machos, after that amazing third game, have full control right now, and Doubt is really the key for the comeback. Cheap Berber Knights. Can he get enough out here? Oof. His eco's so fragile. He got chain barding armor, which is obviously very good. It's probably going to lead to the archers for the flanks from the enemy to run away. But look at his resources. I think he can make 4 knights, and then 1 or 2 of his stables are going to be idle. This could be really bad. And if I'm Miguel, I just, again, tell the flanks to go home. brace yourself a little bit, and you hope that Tato doesn't get an edge over Slam or that Viper doesn't get an edge over Dogao. And both of those things could happen, guys. Both of those things could happen. Oh, why delete the house? I guess he wanted to take this fight, Slam. No, he does have the numbers, actually. Oh, man, but the Knights are on the way. Guys, look. Remember Doubt's resources when he made it to Castle? Look at Miguel's resources for a second. Miguel will destroy if they hold. Can they hold, though? Dogao did actually send some villagers to stone because he towered his wood line, but he hasn't towered the gold. Does Viper know about the tower on the wood line? Okay, Viper not knowing about the tower on the wood line is so good for Dogao because it gives him time to possibly get a tower elsewhere. This could be the difference between having 2 villagers on stone or having 3 villagers on stone. Look at Slam. Slam's got the towers going up. Slam knows. And now Miguel is going to be able to send in support. There's a tower there. And do you have to see walls here for Dogao? Because Viper will dive it. Oh, God, Dogao. Oh, man, you didn't get any villagers inside of that tower? Okay, he's using buildings to block Viper off. Really lacking the numbers after that early attack. Meanwhile, we got scouts from Miguel on Tato. And so far, so good. Slam has not taken a lot of damage. We see the pressure from Doubt and Tato heading over towards Miguel. Miguel's also going to be trying to snag relics because he's Lithuanians. He has a second town center to keep him protected here. The shakiest side right now is Dogao against Viper. The value from the scouts, though, is incredible. Tato down to 39 vills. Not too bad. We're looking for damage. Slam is actually not helping. Interesting choice. Because Miguel's gold is exposed. And he just lost Knights here. I don't think they tracked this properly, guys. I don't think they knew about this until now. This is really bad. I thought Slam was going to come help. I guess Miguel was over here. And look at Dogao. The lion, though. The lion is going to kill the villager. Woo, woo, woo. Way to go, Simba. What are you doing, man? That sucks. Talk about unfortunate. And if Viper's army gets away here, that could be a really big deal. Speaking of a big deal, Los Machos struggling because Miguel is microing over there, and he didn't have gold to make the Knights. Miguel's only at 6 Knights, and Doubt's at 14. Viper does lose his army in the end, though. Slam moving forward on Tato. And Tato's been waiting for this. And let's see how Slam advances. Getting lots of good kills here. Again, no thumb ring for him. Feels like maybe even a siege workshop could make sense for him. But yeah, what a funny moment that was. The lion denying the trap. Remember the fish, man. It's still working. It's still so good. And I'll keep an eye on if relics come in for Miguel. Because you get +1 attack on your Knights per relic. He's going to have +2 total attack because he also researched an attack upgrade. So Gal's going to be like, guys, what is this doing over here? He's probably been told. Obviously, they're communicating, but Gal has Viper on one side to worry about, and then he also has the army from Doubt and from Tata to worry about. And Thumbring is now in for Tata. So again, Vikings are just capped. Vikings cannot compete with that upgrade. But still, it seems manageable for Slam. He's got more units here in this group. And Slam taking a fight that maybe Tato thought he would win. But he's only going to win it if Doubt gets here. And here's Doubt. It is now 20 Knights for Doubt. But you'll notice he's still far off from the economy side. He's still only on 1 TC. And he needs his numbers to count. But the numbers are counting. Cheap Knights with Berbers. Guys, I know Miguel. I know Dogao. Communicate with them pretty frequently. They are going to want this one. Like this is, after this start, and with this Civ matchup, this is one that they know they need to clear up. And Doubt's just got this knack for these all-ins, as do the Berbers, and he just continues to produce. And they're hoping that with the army count, they can make things happen here. Dogao might need to come assist Miguel. Again, the big concern for him has been lack of gold. If he doesn't have villagers on gold, he can't produce army. And there's 3 armies here from GamerLegion. Dogao is here to help, though. Oh, man, I don't expect the monks to do much, though. Viper will snipe those. He'll say thank you. Dogao needs more support here. All of the yellow from Dowd is heading right over to Miguel. Should you have maybe town centered? Ah, man, that's tricky. I was thinking maybe town center the gold earlier. I don't think you can really do that. Because if you do that, then your wood line would have gotten massacred. I think the mistake was not having Slam come save Miguel. I think that's what it was. And now, he's not even able to prop himself up. And Miguel's not going to be able to assist here. 103 army for GamerLegion. We have Viper churning army out of multiple ranges. 4, actually. We have Tato producing army out of 5 ranges. This is getting out of hand, guys. The relic ejects, so now subtract one of the attack stats from Miguel's knights. And GamerLegion as a whole, they might even have the economy lead soon because Miguel can't boom with this. His eco is not good at all right now. Miguel was the player who was in a position to carry this. And when the 2 armies came over this way, it really did not support Miguel like they needed to. Slam went forward instead. He ran into Tato. And now they need to win this fight. If Miguel can't take his gold, this game could be over. Dowd just has the numbers, guys. And Viper's on the way to the Imperial Age. Cheap Imperial Age with Byzantines. Pulling a win out of the hat, so to speak. Because this is just magical from GamerLegion. How did they pull this off? This is not how the map is normally played. All in. 1 TC from the pocket. No fish. Screw the fish. Woo! And also, it's not going to end there, by the way. Because Slam, he does not have the numbers. And he also does not have Thumb Ring. So the pressure just continues to swing. And I think it's reached a point where Doubt might actually add town centers. We'll pay attention to that. I think at this point, you're so far ahead of Miguel that you can add town centers comfortably. That way you can catch up in that regard. Dogal, it is cheaper for him as well with Italians, just not as cheap as Byzantines. And he as well, I mean, added the town centers, right? Los Machos took that economy approach. But where they sacrificed was the military. And poor Miguel, you know, I think he played fine, right? It's just the decision to not receive some type of support from, you know, to protect the gold in that instance was really their downfall. And I'll go back and look at it. Also, I doubt has a knack for these all-in castle ages. And he loves to use the market a lot to do it. And he did that here, and it was very impressive. Picked the Berbers for the cheap knights and said, let's not allow the game to get to that stage where the Lithuanians can really overwhelm us with numbers. And we've seen Berbers in 1v1 tournaments, team game tournaments being picked for Castle Age all-ins and early Imp all-ins before Paladin matters. And yeah, this is over, man. They'll see Viper and Imp, and they're going to call it. What a great win from GamerLegion. But again, this is one that Los Machos are going to look back at and say, oh my god, how did we not win this game? They could have done it. I forget what point that was. Let's say 21 minutes? Okay, this seems about right, so I'll speed through some of this. So again, right now, as it stands, right? Dowd has taken losses, big losses, and he does not have fish. Miguel has taken 0 losses. He has fish. And you know Berbers are all about cheap knights. Like, the only way that Doubt recovers from this position is a numbers thing, right? So, you know, the other thing you have to think about is Vikings don't get Thumb Ring. Malay do. So there's a disadvantage there for Slam. But the advantages are all here for Miguel. And this is before I talk about Viper and Dogal. Honestly, I think, you know, Dogal is a little sloppy, but at the end of the day, that didn't matter here. It would have been a factor, but if Miguel was protected, Viper can't compete with the amount of knights and the amount of upgrades that'd be coming forward, I promise you. So, right about here, army moving around. Okay, here's the thing. I'm thinking Miguel's adding the second TC, and he's getting +2, and he's going to snag relics. He's got his gold. He's making knights. The only downside here is that he has 2 armies coming his way. He needs some help. And so what happens is Slam's chasing, And everything about this, in my opinion, is fine. I think this is actually good. It could have been maybe some paranoia that Doubt was going to run in. I'm not sure. Like, Tato's taking losses. All this is fine, right? You come with, and Miguel survives. And Miguel is 44 eco with 2 TCs still producing vills against 33. And he will have the stronger knights. You just have to follow here, I think. I mean, it's probably not that simple, right? Viper was virtually untouched. But if this army chases, and I've seen nothing from Slam, I mean, he's even got tower defense. He doesn't have to worry about Tato coming to him. If armies go this way, you see it because you have the outpost. The mistake here is just not following. And because of this, Miguel went from being in a position to make knights and being fine. And you know what I think it was, guys? I think maybe they just didn't know it was going that way because Miguel was also late to react. But yeah, now you've got your knight player off gold, and now there's actually a real opportunity for the opponent to come back. You know, Slam sends his army, and I think it's a very different game. GamerLegion, though, just have a knack for bringing it back. And the fact that Doubt lost his entire woodline and they ended up getting the victory is a pretty wild thing here. Again, you ask Miguel Dogal after this, they say that shouldn't happen, but it does happen, and GamerLegion up 3-1. All right, so as I just said, a lot of what goes down here is based on those town center positions. And so far for GamerLegion, we've got Tato starting off here, game number 5. He's got his TC on the right, playing as the Aztecs. You'll notice behind him is Doubt and Viper with their woodline, right? You start with 6 vills on this map, and then normally we're seeing 2 or so villagers make the lumber camp on the side, and then the other villagers, for those who TC the middle, all go towards the TC. We have Sicilians for Viper on the north, on the front, sorry. Behind him we have Doubt, who's playing as the Spanish. Now the expectation here, from my eyes, is Doubt will go fast Castle Conquistador. The stone and the gold is over here, okay? So scouting this, whether it's offensive or defensive, is very important. In the blue, we have Slam, who's playing as the Tatars, a civ I've never seen for this, which I think tells me they kind of ran out of civilizations on their draft, and they're hoping for the best Los Machos. We have Miguel, who's Persians, which I think is always good in a Nomad start, starting with extra resources. And then in the teal, we have Goths for Dogao, which again, you know, I look at that and I'm just like, okay. So there's a few options for the player on the right side. Sometimes you see the players dock. Tato actually didn't do that last time, as someone reminded me. He actually went for no water play and went for a lot of control with spearmen and archers. I guess we'll end up seeing. But the plays that I have seen be successful against the Aztecs and the Spanish being involved in a game has been have one player go scouts, so I think that's going to be Viper. Really nice to have Sicilian scouts too, because their enemy spearmen don't do as much bonus damage. Yeah, scouts on the front. You TC behind the scout player and stay as safe as possible if you're Doubt. Hopefully Viper will actually point out when armies arrive this time. As he failed to do in the previous game. And then... wait, I'm going all over the place. But yeah, Tato kind of has a decision to make on this side. So I think what I would do is I would have archers for Slam. I would have scouts for Miguel. And I would have... it's Goths, though. I mean, I would go... Yeah, I would dock. And I would fish and try and win water. I guess Aztecs don't really have a water bonus either. And then if you do get Goths to a certain stage, they can wreck here, for sure. Like always. Now, I like this from Dogao. He's scouted this. We'll look at Tato scouting. And he hasn't actually scouted it, but I think he will check in just a second. Even if he doesn't double check the shoreline, I think his goats will probably find the dock. So you could, with the way the base is laid out, just wall a little bit if you're Tato. And wall a little bit if you're Dogao, and still just go full water. Either way, I think being that close to the shore, you should definitely get some fishing ships out for your economy. Also, did I see a villager die? Okay, I saw blood, and I thought it was maybe villager blood. But it was rhino blood, so we're good. I was worried there for Slam. Does Aztec production apply to ships? Yeah, for sure, man. Definitely. 50-50 chance, right? Just nodding my head yes. Nodding my head yes on that one. But I think Tato still might... this is where it gets tricky. See, what Tato did last time is there's always a push for more villagers on the wood. And it's happening now. And so he went for scouting and the wood line. And went for spearman archer and pressured the scout player. I wouldn't be that worried about Goths. I would maybe do the same thing. Find Miguel's wood and annoy him. And like we always talk about, that allows Viper to just do everything that he wants to do as safely as possible. If Miguel gets annoyed and Viper's got scouts everywhere, Viper will probably have more scouts in theory. I don't know. Yeah, we have a villager war here. Aztec bonus, does this apply to ships? Exactly, like I said. How did you guys not know that? That's horrible. How long have you been watching my content? You've never picked up on that? Jeez. Yeah, barracks for Dogal. Okay, so I think because Tato is coming forward, he's going to wall it in. Dogal, don't let this happen to you. Oh, he's going to try again. Tato loves to wall in villagers. There was actually a game 2 weeks ago where he walled in 4 villagers from the enemy. And then on the other side, he was losing villagers to a tower, and he didn't realize. But this is funny, though. The camel's blocking. And yeah, now Tato sends another villager, and now it's a different game, and Dogal's going to run away. The camel from Tato is here to join the party, and now Tato's going to try and block. Seems like a similar strategy for Dogal and a similar strategy for Tato. I'm sure we'll see some stuff on water, but just not everything. All right. Yeah, where did the boxing gloves go? Did that mod automatically get removed? I noticed that that's not a part of my game. A slam on gold. I like this. Again, it's exposed. You will see scouting to check those resources. Doubt scouted that. What about slam? Oh, forward range. Oh, I love this so much. But did Viper see it? Does Viper know about it? Does Doubt know about it? No range there, obviously. Viper. Oh, all right, guys. See, Slam knows that Doubt is going to go for the furthest stone, and that Doubt is going to take as much of it as humanly possible as he goes fast castle. I think, though, that Doubt will tower this. Did you not log into Xbox Live to keep the mods? What do you mean? I lose the mods if I don't log into Xbox Live? That's a joke, right? Because that's one of my favorite mods. I guess I could just have somebody make it. Okay. Villager getting killed. Camel blockage. My favorite part of Age of Empires 2. I don't know about you guys. Some good old camel blockage. And expecting Doubt to tower. Tato. Boink. And a boink. Okay, she did. I mean, I had the mod before, so if I had the mod before, I should have it now, right? And look at Miguel. Miguel here to save the day. Tato obviously in a weak position now. All right. So this is Doubt. He is... Oh my god, the goats, man. Will he notice this? Miguel keeping himself protected from the Viper. Is Sicilian Scouts. Viper doesn't have to be as scared. Oh my god. This is one of those things, like, this would never happen for me. Now, Doubt would say it's intentional, and it might not even matter, but the goats found the range, and look at Slam. Oh, this is huge. This is huge. Doubt on the way to Castle Age. He went as far away as possible on the stone and the gold, and Slam. Now, we questioned him at the end of the previous game, but there's no question over how he's played this one. What a great start for him. Still, you will have Viper who could help a little bit. You do have Viper who could kill villagers for Miguel. Miguel, again, is probably distracted with some of the other stuff going on right now. I haven't seen a reaction from him, actually. And he reacts now, but that feels pretty bad. Because he's going to lose more villagers than Doubt did. And, man, Miguel will be upset with himself on that one. Meanwhile, we have archers and spearmen and just this continuous attack between Tato and Dogal. Doubt was able to get a tower down, and he has the goats, if you're wondering, next to the gold. But now, Doubt cannot get a castle up. So Doubt's whole fast castle strategy has changed. And who knows what he does. If I'm GamerLegion, though, and I hear that Miguel lost villagers, I'm still feeling pretty good. You do have Viper who hasn't taken any damage yet. But Viper will have to defend from these archers from Slam. And I just love the forward archer range. Because it would have taken so much longer if you made it from over here. Such a great play. I think Doubt might almost always have to boom here. I think he might buy wood and drop a TC over here. I don't know if Doubt can actually go for the same strategy now. I don't know. Miguel over here, I think sensing Viper's scouts are around, but doesn't exactly see them. The archers from Slam looking for more and more damage. On fire, on fire we have water. No, on water we have fire ships. And Tato's winning that fight, surprise, surprise. Getting a bit fortunate there as well. I'm sure Dogao's a little bit distracted with some of the other things happening. Viper has armor. Viper has forging. Viper does not have bloodlines. Viper will want to kill this on his own. But I don't think he has quite enough just yet. I think he needs more. Tato's fish did die. A few of them anyways. And I promise I'm trying to keep track of some of this stuff. But it's really weird. The colors are all over the place. It doesn't look like Tato's doing more damage. Yeah, I was correct. Doubt's just going to boom now. So Doubt's strategy is completely changed. So Doubt just says, have fun, guys. I'll see you in like 10 minutes. Hopefully then I can do something. But that is a big thing here. Because that is the biggest reason you would pick Spanish. And now Slam will actually have army. And Slam is clicked up to the next age. 30 army for Los Machos. And it is only 23 army for GamerLegion. Obviously, a lot of that is Viper. And then Tato, after winning water, is going to add more fishing ships. But, I mean, if I'm Dogao, I wouldn't be too worried about that. I would just pressure on the archers. What I love about Miguel here is how he's walled this, because it would have been so easy for Tato to just pass these walls and get to his teammate. And what I love about Slam is how sneaky he's been and how Miguel's going to get here to help him. Viper still hasn't clicked up yet, by the way. Viper's making a lot of scouts. Slam needs to stay away, dude. Viper's looking for him. If Slam can get crossbow in and Bod can arrow, that might be the difference between the win and the loss here. I don't see Tato killing Dogao. He can inconvenience Dogao, but I don't see him killing him. Oh, man, look at this archer, though. I think Tato will come deal with this. Yeah, Viper can deal with it on his own. But, yeah. Viper's all-inning to try and kill this army before it's upgraded. He's not going to find it. Dogao, though, does lose these archers. And we'll see what he ends up doing in the next age as well. Might be a situation where he doesn't have army and... Oh, I thought there was a hole there. Viper still looking? Look, he's looking everywhere for those archers. He's even in the back. Asking Doubt for outposts too. I don't think Slam should necessarily go cav archers here, but I wouldn't hate the move. Just getting the spike of crossbowmen and bodkin arrow is enough here. If you've got 15 of them and Viper's in feudal age, Viper's really going to regret making that many. Because if Viper knew he wouldn't find the army, then he wouldn't make the scouts, and he probably would wait till Castle Age and make knights. This is the problem for Viper. And potentially Doubt, but then again, guys, Doubt, I mean, he does have a good vill count, 45, and if Viper's able to hold things off, and Tato's able to hold things off, you never know. You see Dogao's on the way up, though. Tato will follow. I always question what you do with Goths in this position, and I don't have the answer just yet. I think it might be boom for Dogao, because then we'd kind of have two players for each side making land army. We'd have Tato and Viper on one side, and we'd have Miguel, and there's the cav archers for Slam. Scouts are over here for Miguel. I doubt has signaled that. I think Miguel didn't realize there were vills there, though. And okay, here's Slam. Meanwhile, Viper's still just running around like a chicken with his head cut off here. He can't find damage. Doubt's probably like, they're right here, man. They're right here. That said, as I say that, Viper will find damage. Miguel can manage this, though. Hop into the tower and then palisade wall here. No, 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 no. Oh my god. I'm shocked that happened, guys. Two palisade walls, and then the 3 villagers go into the tower. Now, granted, he might still lose 1 or 2, but he doesn't. The TC would complete. That's crazy, man. I have to question that. I mean, just a caster over here, right? But, I mean, maybe there was another fight he was looking at the same time. It's tricky. Probably that was it. I forget exactly where his scouts were. Yeah, his scouts might have been engaged. The Viper kind of traps these scouts in here. That's funny. Viper will clear that up. We still have the crossbows running around there from Slam. Doubt's Vil count is terrifying right now. 57. And it's at a point where he could start to contribute with some army if he wanted to. He has made some siege, which is good. Slam has had a good game, but he still is what I would consider to be a bit of an all-in situation. But it's worth it. Tato gets wrecked. And Dogao's going to boom. That is all the signs that Dogao needs to just boom right here. He's like, okay, you killed how many villagers from Tato? Doubt's full booming on that side? Great. I'm going to full boom here. You guys hold off. If I can get Goths to the Imperial Age with economy, who knows what can happen. Slam could also dive underneath this tower. So Tato has to place a couple houses. Good work. He'll complete the TC. Doubt. Oh, God. Doubt's dropping a castle here. And we all know his reputation. I mean, Viper's going to take the hit for him, I guess. That was a risky castle there, to say the least. And still no answer to these crossbows. Okay, but there's the siege for Doubt. We have camels and we have cav archers. Very mobile armies here. But Slam, can you micro this at the same time? Oh, the answer is yes. And he says, see ya. And Doubt says, I'll repair. And Slam's just going to take repair vills. Just take the vills, Slam. I know you want to, okay? Just take the vills. Yep. Just take all the vills. Yep, good move. Oh my god, he's a beast. Slam has the plan. Okay, and he's dead. But I pumped him up a little bit. That's the caster's job. Great job from Doubt to add the siege. Again, in theory, Miguel could have a knight or camel there. But it's very tricky to get to that spot. This map is very, very hectic. Love this, though. Viper seems to have realized that there's a lot of exposed villagers here. And he still has the leftover scouts. And yeah, there's towers. Yeah, there's a TC. But it's not easy. And not fun to deal with. Viper just makes him respect it. And meanwhile, Slam will take out the Mangonel, no problem. And Doubt losing some vills. Not putting his villagers into army yet. Seems to really like the idea of Conquistador still, but... Wow, didn't see this, guys. Dogao came back on water. Pato also has monks inside of this transport ship. He's trying to get the relics because there's relics on those islands. That's funny. Oof, Slam has lost half a dozen villagers here, though. Viper's done a great job with his army, just stopping the villagers from getting any good control of the gold on that side. Okay, nothing really going on there. The cav archers here are still a threat. Not as much of a threat, though, because now Doubt has conks. Beginning to worry now for Los Machos, because Doubt's got a crazy boom. Much crazier than anyone else can say, and again, I look at the military count, and the military count is even right now. And unless Slam buys the stone here in a second, I'm not expecting Slam to drop a second TC. And unless Dogao, unless his teammates are able to kill villagers from Doubt, it just seems like Doubt is going to have the economy to do whatever he wants. Tato was able to get the relics. I guess he could actually convert the ships, too. Tato's not going to give up here, guys. Tato is going to try and convert the ships, and we might have a big moment, because I think he might make a demo from this side. And once again, Viper finding villager kills with these scouts. Obviously, like Cav now, but he's just everywhere with his melee units. His economy is not the best, but his score is high because of the kills, no doubt. I'll check the Eco KD for you. Eco KD is there. Viper has killed 22 villagers, and he has lost 7. Doubt has killed 0 villagers and lost 11. Tato's killed 4 villagers and lost 13. So without Viper's presence in this game, things would be fairly problematic. And obviously Slam's Eco KD is pretty good, but it hasn't been so good for Miguel. 265 versus 235. Still some questions over what happens in the long term. Tato has made his way over here with some crossbows. That feels like an army that players won't know about. Finally, a TC over here for Dogao as he wants some access to stone. Slam does have a second TC up now, finally over here. Another fight that Viper's winning now. As he will go for a TC on the gold and a TC on the stone. This is kind of what I expect. I think a lot of this pressure is going to shift to this area. And I think the reason Viper's going to stone is because he wants to plan for a Sicilian castle drop right when it's right at the most crucial time, right before Imperial Age could come in for the opponent. Tato being annoying with the crossbowmen. It's actually likely that Miguel will lose his knights here, and these crossbows will still be standing. And yeah, Tato's back on water. Oh! Oh, but he demoed 2 demos. What a play! We will have another demo from Dogao, but at the end of the day, Tato just wants the relics. Tato actually only 10 villagers behind what we see for Dogao, which is pretty insane from what I remember. And he's also applied pressure, too. Dogao has had nothing on land. Now, Aztecs have a lot more bonuses than Goths. Again, like we said when the game started, I just didn't really feel like the civilizations were clicking for me. Oh, geez. It's a Doubt Castle. Doubt! You've got a great position in this game. Every time this guy places a castle, there's a big question mark in my mind on if he should have placed it. You could place it here. There's no need to force that castle down. Viper's not going to support you right now. Viper's all over Miguel. Miguel's eco also a lot crazier than I thought. He's at 94 right now. But Miguel is making camels, and you don't do a lot of bonus damage against the Sicilians with your camels, so I would avoid that if I were you. Doubt refuses to delete this. He's so stubborn. I think you could have completed your castle over here by now. But to be fair, he did take a pretty decent fight, and we'll see if he can complete it in the end. Viper 21 army, 86 villagers. Again, I'm keeping an eye on his stone count. I could definitely see a castle in his near future. Miguel is just doesn't have the numbers yet. He's close. He's close to having the numbers. And Doubt still doesn't delete this freaking castle, man. I mean, come on. Oh, he'll get it up. Of course he will. And he's sending more villagers just in case. Just Doubt things. Tato on the way to the Imperial Age. He has 1 water. Again, what that means at this point is just the relics. But he does have 4 of them, so that's obviously a nice thing. Especially because he doesn't have a TC on the left yet. He's going to try, I think. Doubt's castle completed, by the way. Supplies for Tato, so he's thinking champion. Probably scared that we're going to see Huskarls from the Goth player Dogao. Now is the highest score for his team, and he's going for the man-at-arm upgrade. Knights from Viper find their way to these TCs. Viper, the only one who's not on the way to the Imperial Age from his team. But he does have a great economy here. 51 on food is pretty insane. And then again, he's got enough stone. He's got enough gold. I'm just waiting for that castle to go down right around this area, right? And he will be able to pass this information. Oh, God! Okay. It was Viper's turn for a Doubt Castle. He'll be able to pass the information along and say, hey, like, if we get some army here, we castle this, we'll be in a good spot. GamerLegion has maintained about a 30 villager lead. But they will have 2 players in the Imperial Age also. And now that Viper has the support and Slam's out of the picture, Viper will build this castle. This is just an insta-castle. Even Doubt can't fail these types of castles. Sicilian castles build so fast. And we knew this was going to be the case for Viper, right? Slam maybe didn't sense it. I'm sure there's that feeling to have to do damage. I think even still, to be fair to Slam, I think even still the castle would go up for Viper because it's Sicilians. But now he could be seen as trapped in here. We have Elite Conquistador for Doubt. He's got 22 of them, multiple castles to produce them out of. And Tato's going longsword. And now Two-Handed Swordsman is on the way. And he's going to be making infantry before Dogao can ever get the numbers up. And Dogao's still 2 minutes off the Imperial Age. is looking really bad for Los Machos. Again, man, I mean, I look back and I think about it. I think if they take Game 4, even from a purely Civ standpoint, they're going to be in trouble in Game 5, right? And that's fine. Then they go down 3-2. Then they do a redraft of Civilizations for the 2 remaining maps, and who knows what happens. But that previous game was definitely an opportunity for them to get a win off of GamerLegion. They didn't take it. GamerLegion's been the more consistent team here. And Tato is going to wreck. Because what do you do if you're Miguel to save Dogal? You say, hey, you're Gots, go champion yourself. But you can't really help. It's just going to snowball out of control in theory, as long as Tato gets all the upgrades and keeps the numbers rolling. Now, what Gots do have is the cheap units, right? So, actually, it's surprising me even. Dogal holding for now. And, you know, maybe I'm wrong, actually. Maybe this will be okay. We have a little raid here from Miguel that's going to be snuffed out. And Miguel's also on the way to Imp. Sad news would be, though, that Viper is as well. And Slam's Cav Archers, not in high enough number for me to be able to compete with the Conquistadors. Conquistadors are way more expensive as well. There's 31 of those bad boys for Doubt. Also getting Supremacy. So if Doubt's getting Supremacy, I expect villagers to just run into the middle of nowhere and drop a castle because they'll be beefed up. Two-handed swordsman on the way for Dogal. Let's see. Half the reason they picked Goths was because they kind of ran out of civilizations. But they did have Poles as an option, too. And I would have personally preferred Poles over the Goths. So they truly believed that maybe Goths could do something here. Tato hasn't clicked champion yet, and Dogal just did. Slam dropping a castle in defense. Viper going for First Crusade, guys. You can go over 200 population with First Crusade. You get 7 instant sergeants from each town center. It's instant. It's not very strategic. It's Age of Empires 2, Sicilian edition. Let's go. Here they come. It's just something. I mean, it's not even necessarily the best unit against what you have over here, but now Viper's over 200 pop. No one else can do that. Well, technically, the Goths can actually do that. Fire Nitro, I don't want to hear any nitpicking, all right? You said this was going to be a sweep, and you missed the best game ever if you weren't here, all right? Don't you nitpick on me, sir. I remember who said that. But yeah, it obviously is looking pretty dire right now. This is great for Dogal because he's taking a fight before champion. And actually, he's wrecking here. Oh, my God. But the other side is just completely dead, right? The other side's completely dead. I don't see a way back into it. Slam is struggling to have the mass. The GGs are called. GG and good luck next. And guys, it was all expected here today. Maybe we didn't expect for the best game of Battle of Africa to be a Los Machos victory because that was ridiculous. What a comeback that was. This was very, very close to being a sweep. And that victory at least changed the story of this semifinal. But if you were to have told me before Battle of Africa, just like every other Battle of Africa over the last 4 years, T90, what's the final going to look like? I would have said if GamerLegion and Aftermath were on opposite sides of the bracket, that it would be easy money to place on Aftermath and GamerLegion being in the final, and that's what we're going to have. Here's something that's kind of interesting. I think this will be the first... No, this won't be the first time they're playing a best of 9, excuse me. Because in Battle of Africa 2, it was a hell of a final. It was 5-4 Aftermath. So I'm hoping we have something along those lines for the final tomorrow. Aftermath, I think, looked more dominant against their opponent, Suomi. And I would have said that Suomi were actually the better team if you were to compare Suomi and Los Machos. But that's very tricky. You can't really judge it like that. Game plans might be very different based on the opponents. And the Age of Empires 2 food chain is very, very weird. So Los Machos and like Dogal and Miguel have actually had pretty rich history against GamerLegion players. And then the Aftermath guys have always had a really good success against Suomi. And then it's weird because then you have Suomi who has really pretty decent success against GamerLegion when compared to Aftermath, and I could go down the whole thing. But at the end of the day, It will be a GamerLegion versus Aftermath Best of 9 final. For those in the stream, that'll obviously be tomorrow, and everybody else, that'll probably be tomorrow or something like that if you end up watching the video. I'll get into the predictions and all of that when the final starts, but an expected final and probably the best final for Age of Empires 2. I'm excited, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the action is. Obviously hoping we have a few more games, right? Because of the potential 14 games today. Is that right? Potential 14? Yeah, the potential 14 games today, we had 9. Which shows how deserving GamerLegion and Los Machos were. And yeah, here's the KD for you. Viper, I think, was a standout for me in terms of the villager kills. It really shows how strong Doubt's Boom was. That he was able to abandon his old strategy, not support his team, which again, credit to Viper and Tato for doing what they did because they didn't have any help, and then boom up to his vill count. He at one point had a 30 villager lead. I think Miguel struggled to do some damage here in this game. Viper was just on him too many times. He also had to wall and worry about Tatsu getting through, I guess, because Dogao wasn't having the most success. I don't know. But if I were to take my caster, my caster glasses off for just a second, this is the breakdown. You have to win game 3. You have to win, or sorry, game 4. You have to win game 4. There were opportunities there to get the victory they didn't take. It was unlikely they would ever have a chance to win this game purely based on the civs. Truthfully, if I'm being honest, they would have to play out of their minds to get a win with this civ matchup against the draft you have there for GamerLegion. So I think, again, Los Machos missed opportunities, sad times for them. But at the end of the day, they made it to the semifinals. I think they're going to be happy with that. I don't think they would have even given themselves an edge over GamerLegion here today, and they respect how good they are. So, GG's.